Good evening, one and all, to what is oNiD VODCast, episode 3. Good evening, one and all. Ben, Johnny are two regular faces up top, but to my screen left, there we go.
It's a stranger.
It's a stranger. Someone from
That's
the
strange.
unknown. Well, not that strange. No, well, you're wearing a Chelsea scarf, so we have to. Give you a bit of allowance.
And he's drinking gay beer.
He's drinking gay beer. Guys, Steve, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. Right, it's good to be back involved with the oNiD crew.
It is indeed.
We'll can't escape us.
You can't escape us. No, that's the thing. You've
I don't want to escape you.
Good. Oh, wow.
We'll get on.
I mean, if you keep on wearing that Chelsea scarf, I might have to escape you.
I'm going to have to take it off in a minute.
I'm going to have to take mine off in a minute. I was sweltering.
It is so hot in here. I'm going to have to take it off. But the only reason why I'm wearing it is because I saw Johnny wearing that abomination.
Yeah, and then I had to put my Luton Town scarf on as well, you know. Just home pride and everything. They're a crap team, but home pride.
You can
anyway.
just see Ben's cov pillow in the background of a shirt.
There it is. Here we are. Just kicking it off. We're all in our own.
Robbed by Johnny's lot last year.
Absolutely robbed, mate. I was there.
Robbed.
Bastards.
Mate.
And I wasn't, and I was laughing.
I nearly had a heart attack. Steve. It was unbelievable.
Not surprised, mate. Absolutely robbed.
I nearly fell down the stairs in the Wembley.
Do you live near Coventry, Ben?
In Northampton, so.
Wow, like amazing that you all live so close. Like global community, and like you lot live so close to each other. Amazing.
Bonkers.
And I'm just down the road.
He is down the road, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm up north, kind of north.
How are you? I thought we were Luton Town. I thought
I'm Luton Town. I grew up in Luton, but I'm Midlands, East Midlands.
Sorry.
He's not really north. He's Leicester.
Well,
Hey, that's not northern, is it?
That's Midlands. It's north. It's further north from where I've been.
Anything north of Watford Gap's north.
It is, yeah, pretty much. I'm a glorified northerner.
Got to take it off.
Really yeah, I'm going to take
way too harsh.
I'm sweltering. Right, shall we go to the track? That's a good cue, actually, because we are going to have a good natter about things. We've got Steve here this evening. We might start to pick his brains to see what he can and can't answer. So we're going to have a quick watch into the wonderful Silverstone race this evening for 2.4 hours. They're doing their qualifying at the minute, and things are looking quite hectic. Multiple classes of cars this evening. Porsche Cups, GT3, GT4, BMW M2s. We'll keep an eye on this in the background, but one of the main reasons we're here this evening, it's already been announced on oNiD. We have launched Season 3. We're going to have a quick review of Season 2 as well. But I think we might just start off with our wonderful dearest friend Steve.
Just throw him in at the deep end.
He's thrown at the deep end. He's bracing himself. He's like, oh my god, oh no. So Steve, first things first, tell us a bit about you, how we kind of got involved with working with you, and what's the backstory of yourself, basically.
Well, the backstory is that I've been a big fan of oNiD since pretty much the start. We, as you may or may not know, anyone that's watching, any new people to oNiD, I used to run SGP along with Thomas, and oNiD were one of the I wouldn't say like OG communities, Johnny. Right? You came on sort of like a little bit after we launched, but you weren't that far off of OG.
I think we were like the week of it going into beta.
Yeah, so like you'd missed like the closed bit, like real closed bit, and then when we opened it up like to that beta stage, you came on.
Yep.
And it was like, I think if I remember correctly, you were just sort of pooling together a bunch of drivers, a bunch of friends, just to race.
Yep.
But it soon became clear that you were like driven and doing the right things, and
much to the disgust of everyone else.
Hey, like, do you know that's a conversation in itself. Like the dynamics and the relationships between communities. That's a whole conversation in itself, you know. But you guys were clearly pushing and doing the right things, and you've just gone from strength strength to strength. And Johnny and I get along, and you know, like since we first met in person and stuff, it was like clear that we were like, well, we're just mates, really. Like it wasn't like a client customer type arrangement. It was just like, actually we're both passionate about what we're doing, and I love that. I love people who are passionate about what they're into and their hobbies, and obviously especially sim racing. I'm a sim racer at heart, have been for 20 plus years, 30 years nearly, and I kind of made it my mission to help oNiD grow as much as I could help them grow along with SGP. And then I left SGP to come and join SimGrid. I'm sure there's going to be no questions about why I left, so we'll gloss over that.
No, we're avoiding that. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, great, okay.
No, it's fine.
And then, yeah, obviously, kind of made it my mission again to bring oNiD over, because I loved working with you guys at SGP. Like, genuinely, it was a pleasure. You know, you pushed us. You pushed us to try and accommodate what a community of your size needed, and it moved the platform forward. So when I went over to SimGrid, I was like, we've got to bring oNiD over somehow, some way, because they're going to move SimGrid forward. And it honestly pained me to see you guys, you know, doing the thing with SGP, because I was like, fuck, like I know that you have loyalty to SGP and stuff, but I put a lot of my energy and passion into oNiD as well. I know it wasn't always like me being on track and racing and stuff, but it was like a lot of the time behind the scenes fighting the corner. You know, like sort of saying like, actually, we need to support these guys. We need to do these things because, you know, they're a valuable community. So yeah, bringing you guys over to SimGrid, or you agreeing to come over to SimGrid, should I say, was another you know, big moment for me, and I'm really happy that we're sort of reunited in that sense.
It does lead to the question. I know, Aidan, you've put a question in, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
How did what happen?
Who courted who first, basically?
Right. I mean,
Romantic night in the hotel, I think. That's
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't. It was something to do with Slim Chickens, but no.
let me tell you about Slim Chickens, guys.
We're still pushing for the sponsorship. We still want the sponsorship.
Yeah,
It's not what the sponsorship, man.
it's like KFC, but better. Yeah, no, look, I don't know which came first, but I make no secret about it. Like, I want to work with the best communities. I want to work with the best people in our industry, and I would constantly send Johnny updates if SimGrid did something cool. I remember I think it was the first week that it was the first couple of weeks that I joined SimGrid. And I wasn't actually working on SimGrid at the time. I was working on Coach Dave and SimTrader. But they were like, so, you know, what's the things that people want at SGP? You know, like, and I was just like, overall point scoring was one that was like coming up a lot, and there was something else, and they're like, oh, okay, cool. That was the end of it, right? That was the end of the conversation. And like a week later, they're like, oh, we've done overall point scoring. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we've done overall point scoring. It's like you can now do overall point score chat. I was like, sorry, what? Like, that is like a 3, 4, 5 month conversation at SGP, and it was just like that, bang, done. I was like, all right, fair play. So this is how we roll here. And I just sent that message to Johnny. I was like, overall point scoring within like a couple of weeks. I was like, this is crazy. Yeah, it's just I think like it's just been a bit like that, hasn't it, really, Johnny? Yeah. Just like up until when you guys moved over, I was just like, there's some really cool stuff happening here. Some of it is visible, some of it's like features. There's this, there's that, and the other. Some stuff that you guys have access to, actually, which probably. Anyway, you guys are testing some stuff.
Yeah.
And there's stuff in the background which is really cool. Like, and I put a LinkedIn post out the other day saying if the communities don't know they're in the right place at the moment on SimGrid, they will do very, very soon. So yeah.
And that was part of the conversation. To put a bit of background, we'd had ongoing conversations for many months, and it ended up in my kitchen drinking coffee, and that's how it all began. And you came. I won't go into details. There was a discussion in place and things that I obviously can't say and you can't say, Steve. But you told me some things and there was things that happening and it was just right. And without going into the detail with my team either, it was just like, I think it's about. We'd flirted with the idea, Ben, hadn't we? For a few times we'd flirted with it. There was things that weren't gonna. There was things that were holding us back. And Steve just came and just said, look, this is all going to be fine. And it was literally within 48 hours, Steve.
Yeah.
From that conversation, it was like, right, we're doing it. We're good to go. And we've met up a few times since then, and it's all going well. And I said to you, you said to me, you're not going to be the biggest fish in the ocean anymore. And we were like, no, we're good with that. And my exact response was, we're going to push you, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, but you're giving it a good go.
And to be fair, I've been very. Steve, you know me, and Ben knows me very well. We've been very quiet. We've just been getting along with our business at SimGrid to start with, because we're just kind of getting used to things, and we're still teaching people how to use it, the admins, and getting the player base that we need. I will be pushing soon.
But it's one of those where we're in a bit of a limbo. I think the whole industry's in a bit of limbo at the moment.
Everyone's waiting for AC Evo, aren't they? That's
everyone's waiting for Evo. Like that's no secret. Like what's going on with ACC? That's a big question mark. So there are, I think the whole the industry's in a bit of limbo at the moment, and I think we're putting a lot of time and effort into a couple of things that are behind the scenes. That, I mean, you can come up with amazing, wonderful features and be like, oh, we need this, we need that. It's like, cool, but
yeah,
just wait a bit, because the stuff that we're working on is going to answer a lot of questions for a lot of people. And then I'd fully expect the pushing to come when that bit really kicks off, because can you really genuinely justify, I don't know, let's say that you come up with this feature that you desperately need for ACC, could you really justify spending money on developing something really specific for ACC when, I mean, I think there's not really much happening with ACC at the moment, right? So it would be difficult for us to say, we're going to do something really specific for ACC, but just wait.
But it's the same. It's the same, isn't it, for all of the sim world at the minute? Everyone's waiting for AT Evo. No one really knows what's happening with AMS2. That big update's due imminently. Yeah. There's a massive update coming for that, which is a massive overhaul of multiplayer.
Don't hold your breath on that, by the way.
Oh,
okay. Slander.
Yeah.
No. Just from what I've heard, it's not imminent.
Oh, I see. So
race room, though.
Yeah, race room obviously launched yesterday or the day before.
So what do you think of race room then?
Oh,
I think as much as it wants to come back, it's not going to come back.
No. I love race room, and I love certain elements of how it sets up things like its internal bop and stuff on the multiplayer is really cool. How if you've got different assists, it adds more weight to the car and things like that. And the physics have always been good, in multiplayer, but it always felt clunky to me, and it's set up, and I think that means that not many people use it in a kind of competitive sense.
Clunky in what sense?
Always a shame. The how setting it up and stuff was always clunky to me, and
from an admin perspective, or
from a user, it's a perspective,
user,
and I don't think we did some race room stuff a while ago,
Yeah,
didn't we? But
We did. Yeah, we did.
Although we got more from a lot of other race room events, it was always on the lower end of what we were doing.
Yeah.
And by the end of seasons, you could have 10 people left, which isn't really what. And it always felt like their model that they used to have with the DLC kind of limited what you could do on it.
Yeah, it was over the top.
Yeah,
it was.
But it was fun. I
it
mean,
was
we
fun.
did a few races, and I did a couple of competitive races on it in some tournament things, and it was really good.
It was always like R Factor for me.
Yeah.
It was really had a really good model to it. I enjoyed racing it, but the UI just put me off so much. It was just so bad.
I feel like we're insulting Race Room by comparing it to
no,
R2.
The funny thing is, I've like since the update, I've played it more than I have any other game. I've just been doing laps. The 1995 DTM stuff's really like those new cars.
Really
I think
cool.
are really nice. The GT3 field. I mean, I did a custom GT3 field with all the different like current GT3 cars. I was like, this is quite nice actually.
Yeah.
But I totally get what you're saying, and it's like when you get it on track and you're driving, it's like it's kind of cool, but it's just getting there, which is if I'm quite lucky, I suppose, to have a license where I've got all of the content, so I can just do whatever I want.
This is the thing. If you don't have that license, it's really limited. And then when you compare it to AC, yes, AC is older. Is it? It is older. But the content manager stuff with AC and its custom mods, you can nearly get that level with custom mods on AC. And I know you'd need someone to do the
100%.
DTM 95 stuff. That stuff looks incredible because we were literally commenting before you arrived, Steve, that looks the shit. Like,
And it
that's
drives
totally up my
nicely
shit,
as well.
But then you're comparing it to AC, which is loads of free stuff, loads of potentially paid mods are really cheap, like really like £2 for a whole series of cars or a track. You can do a lot more with it. So it's tough. I'm glad to see they're still investing in it. I'm kind of disappointed there wasn't a Race Room 2 from my point of view. But
Right, so that's a really good point. So I said I was chatting to Dave about this yesterday. I was like, if I was them, I would be like, right. I would go to the because they license the physics engine, right? So I'd go to the people where they license the physics engine. It's the ISI motor engine, which is the same as R Factor 2, or sorry, R Factor 1.
yeah,
I'd go to those guys that they license that engine from and say, can we just rename this and release it again as like the Race Room track engine or something like that? Whole new UI, couple of things that you'd have to put in. So driver swaps, full day, night cycle, weather, right?
Yeah.
You'd need those things, right? But I just know how this industry reacts to stuff like this now. And it's like, if it might be exactly the same thing, make some tweaks, but release it as the Race Room track engine, and people are like, this is wicked.
yeah.
If it's got a nice
Yeah.
UI and everything, and it's like, people would just...
LMU.
See,
Right.
the LMU annoys me.
I love it, but it annoys me.
It annoys me because it's just slow. It's like AMS2 when it came out. Although AMS2 does have had the multiplayer experience, and you could do servers and you could do peer-to-peer and you could actually race with your friends because they took the Project Cars 2 engine. But LMU doesn't have that, and it's just slow. Like they
What do
were
you
on
mean
fire
slow?
when they really.
As in, like, the UI and getting into the game and that?
No, as in it's slow, as in the development slow.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Also, the
It's been
load
out-
speed is very slow. Let's be honest.
yeah, that too, yeah.
How many communities include like us? We said as soon as it's available, we're going to be running, 24-hour races and big endurance races. If it's got that capability, it promised the world, and it's just been so slow, like just poor.
Because we're here from a custom event point of view, aren't we, Johnny? I think that's pretty.
Yeah.
We're pretty open with the fact of if there's a sim out there, we want to run some form of event, whether it's a championship or a social. We don't care. We'll pretty much have a social on anything, right? So, but you can't do that at the minute with LMU. So I've dove into it. I really like it. I haven't really done much of the multiplayer, but I really like the single player. But then from my point of view, I like custom liveries. I can't do custom liveries on it, and
Yeah, man.
who knew? And you can't do custom events.
Yeah.
So that's immediately a limiting thing, and it's like Rensport will be the same when that comes out. There's no custom events. It's all going to be, from what I've read anyway, it's all going to be like online, like server lobbies, and there's no custom liveries, and so I'm instantly like, why would I bother?
That's another one with the race room as well. Like that would be another thing that I'd do straight away. Custom liveries. Like I know it's a big part of, like I say, a big part. It's part of their business model is they sell these these liveries. It's just like you can still sell those liveries. You can still sell them. It's not like you have to delete them. I'd just give people the chance to do the custom liveries.
And they could do their own, if they're going to do that, have the custom livery marketplace.
Exactly.
It's a perfect place for it in many ways, because they're going down this NFT style individual livery ownership system. Just someone does a custom livery, they sell it, they get half the money, Rensport gets half the money, and you have 5 copies of it, and that's it, and it's limited stock across the game.
No brainer, man.
Perfect.
Can I, Ben? I've got to ask you, what do you make of the dynamic liveries that they do?
Nah.
No, not feeling it.
Nah, not feeling it. I think if they were, that's where they've got like the weird, when the light's on it, and it looks like it's got lights and things in it. It can have like different like pearly effects and stuff on it, can't it?
Yeah,
and change design as it goes along.
I think it goes one step beyond that, in that you can load video graphics into it.
God.
Yeah, right.
I can already feel my graphics card weeping. Like,
I might be wrong about that, but I asked someone at Gamescom. I was like, "Is that?" They're like, "Yeah." So like, you can have like video files in your livery, and I was like, "Okay." They went from Rensport, by the way. It's just like another sim racing nerd, and they're like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, it's kind of cool, I guess. Like, it's a innovation, I guess." And do you know what? Did you see the McLaren has video ads?
On the F1.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fair enough. Maybe I'm the idiot thinking that will never catch on. And then literally the next weekend, I saw it at Monza with the McLaren with the flipping screens with ads on. I was like, okay, well.
They played around with it in the wheel alloys as well.
Right. Really?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, they played around with that where it's, because it's got LEDs in it, when it's spinning, it can effectively create a pattern while it's driving.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
that's
but
sick.
I think they only used it in practice. I don't think they actually put, I don't think it's actually on any of the real cars, but they used it, played around with it in practice and stuff, which is pretty cool. But
yeah, I mean, fair play, McLaren do push the envelope on that sort of stuff, I have to say.
I'm absolutely loving this. This has completely gone off track to what I was actually about to ask you. But this is absolutely fantastic. I'm loving it.
This is what
I
happens
really
when
am.
we get in a room with Steve. Shit.
Oh dear Lord. We are just also in the background, as we do have a gas away with anything and everything, sim racing, anything at this point. It's brilliant. I love it. We do have the guys lining up for their starts on the Super. I know.
He won't
the
be
Audi.
when he does it.
Wall
I
cars.
just realised they've put the old limiter on as well, so they're all having to go round 2x2 without the proximity on.
Oh.
What?
Yeah. Someone didn't change a setting in SimGrid.
Evil bastards.
I was wondering what was going on. Like, it looks a bit messy. So it's like an old school version of the grid.
Yeah, the original grid mechanic was weird. You get a very similar version to it in single player, but it's even more primitive than that.
Right.
And you can literally, when it tells you to go, you can just go.
Right.
Yeah, John's going to disappear in a second if he knows what he's doing.
Ahead.
Especially when I saw a BMW M2 in between like about 15 GT3s. I was like, oh god.
Jesus Christ.
They'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out. It's fine. They're going to get the green flag shortly, so we'll just keep an eye on this in the background. They're not going yet. Oh, there you go. There's green flag.
How's John got away without a penalty for that? That's appalling.
Oh no, what?
John's
What's he doing? That's his OP Fry guys for what owned there. Absolutely nailing the start. He got away with it. But yeah, as we said, one of the fantastic events we here run at oNiD, with thanks to SimGrid as well. And just also wanted to touch upon that. I know we kind of already mentioned it because you've taken away one of my questions, Johnny and Steve. Grumble. Anyway, no, it's fine. I kind of do want to touch upon it with, from Steve, your point of view. I know with oNiD joining, it's probably going to be a bit of an invalid question. It's probably aimed more on Johnny, myself, and Ben, really. Have our expectations been met with moving to this new platform? Have we exceeded things that we planned to do? What kind of from both sides of the both sides of the wall, let's say, what have our expectations been? Have we achieved them? I personally think we've done really great with really well with SimGrid. I absolutely love it here. I love working with you guys and hearing what sort of things are in pipeline potentially.
It'd be interesting to, Steve, your side first is, have oNiD lived up to what you thought we would go into SimGrid?
All right. Well, so the first thing to mention is I think, was it week 1 you were on the trending page?
Yes.
So, I mean, I'll say I didn't expect anything less, but like genuinely, I didn't expect that. Like moving the community from like platform to platform is not an easy thing to do, and yeah, like when you popped up with on the trending page, I was like, flipping heck, okay, like that's actually really cool, and you know, and that form continues for like a while, I guess. And I don't think it's stopped actually. I think you still appear in trending like regularly. So
We've got
I mean,
1, 2. In the page, we've got 2 so far. We've got the first one is QRT Sunday Night League is the first one on the trending page, and then there's 2 of ours that are pretty much full now. But that's just on the first page. But because we release in seasons, we might not be on there for 6 to 8 weeks, and then all of a sudden we release all of our events, and they just flood it. Right. That's the way we changed that literally just before we were coming to SimGrid. We changed into releasing into a season rather than into individual events. So we released everything all at the same time, and this is what's on for the next 8 weeks. There you go, and then everyone signs up. The boss turned up with more Pepsi. Thanks, boss.
Just because you look at your leg.
This is Crash.
That's all. Go get table service.
From my perspective, and I've got to be completely honest. I'm not as day to day on the platform like I was at SGP. Like Michael is there. He's like the product owner for SimGrid, so he's very much like day to day in the SimGrid Discord. You know, dealing with community owners and admins and stuff. My job really is about sort of making strategic moves to secure the future for SimGrid. So like I've said, like there's stuff that I'm working on which is we're confident is actually, you know, going to make sure that SimGrid's going to be here in 10 years. So I don't see the day-to-day to it. Like I don't race as much as I want to. You know, the first time here's the thing for you. I realised the last time I got in my rig was February.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was just a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I fancy a bit of WRC, and I loaded it up, and I'm a proper nerd. I'll maybe tell you about it later, but I'm a proper nerd. But anyway, I realised that I hadn't played WRC since February, and I haven't played anything else since. So I've just been flat out trying to get stuff done for SimGrid and for Coach Dave, and so yeah, I'm not in it like day to day like I was with SGP. So from my side, I've seen you guys come on the platform, you burst on the platform, you've been trending here, there, and everywhere, and you haven't told me you hate it. So
that was the point I was going to make. Actually, was I haven't gone to Steve yet and said I've made a mistake. We haven't had that conversation, and I remember having a conversation with Michael actually, and he said, Steve said he asked us repeatedly if we wanted to own it on the platform, We were like, how bad could they be? Like, and he was like, and then I saw the trending page after you released everything, and I was like, ah.
Aha.
Yeah, genuinely, I was like, when we were in that conversation about like, you know, I'm going to make you guys an offer to come over and whatnot. It was like, are we sure we want to do this? Because you've got to understand what you're getting involved with oNiD. It's not like it's not a walk in the park. It's not like we're just bringing on any old community that's just going to go, yeah, great, and it's going to be like they're going to push us. They're going to ask for stuff. They're going to want stuff. They're going to, you know, try and push us forward. And everyone on the team was like, yes. So that's it. It's as simple as that.
And it was a nice touch. The big thing for me was it was we had the conversation, Steve. We made the decision. We got everything sorted, and it was literally probably an hour, maybe two, after we'd finalised everything. Steve, I got a message from Dave Perel, and he was like, "You made you will not be disappointed. You've made the best move." And it was just quite a nice touch. Like Dave didn't need to message at all, and he did. It was just nice, and it's been good. And Ben, from our point of view, I suppose it hasn't disappointed, has it? And we'll touch on season 3 because there is a big thing with season 3 already.
Obviously, it was a massive change. It was a massive change for us, and there was a lot of work that went in behind the scenes, especially to get it turned around so quick.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So I had to ring in some help to get everything done in time, because obviously even things like car liveries and all the different web portals and all of the website, everything had to be updated with things. And then you've got all the new setup on SimGrid as well, which all the admins pulled together and worked out all that. So it was a lot of work, but I think now we're in season 3, we're settled, we've got our events filling up as ever, and people are kind of used to how everything works now. Because that's another thing. You've been setting up events on the system for like over 2 years.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's like, oh, we're going to do it.
Different.
Well, it was nearly 3 years.
But it's actually not. This is what I've been trying to get through to the admins. It's like the settings that were on SGP, that we went into the UI on the website and filled everything in, they're no different. They're no different. It's just, it might be slightly worded different, or it looks different. I was like, there's no difference from what we do.
Oh, Matt got punted.
Oh no, just saw that as well. No, that's a very good point, Johnny. I've seen that as well. I don't usually do more the admin, just all the commentary, but for what I've worked with a lot of the admins, setting up the leagues, getting their streams ready, and they all say, "Cool, we just set it up, just got to do a few clicks and we're good to go." So simple.
Yeah. Again. Sorry, go on, Johnny.
There's a few things that, like I said, I will be pushing for, and these are not sim-based. Just little things that I'll be talking to the team at SimGrid about. But it's just the automation of it is just really easy. Bang, bang, bang. It takes you a little bit more time than it would on SGP, but the things I'll be suggesting will probably speed that up a little bit, just to make things a little bit easier for everyone. It's not just for my community; it's for everyone setting up an event. And it's just, but yeah, it's no different. It's been really easy to set things up, and the guys are picking it up really good. The response, I don't think we lost any drivers from moving.
For people that were actively signing up to events, no, we didn't.
No. I think we did lose one.
I mean, this is the problem with platforms. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but it's like anyone that decides that they're going to get into this game now they're bonkers, I have to say, right? Anyone starting to try and build a platform like an SGP, like a SimGrid, they're crazy, because they're going to have all the same problems that we've had, which is people want to race with communities. They don't want to race with platforms. So, like, you moving oNiD from SGP to SimGrid and not losing any of your regulars doesn't surprise me in the slightest, because they're not racing with you because you're on SGP. They're not racing with you because you're on SimGrid. They're racing with you because you're oNiD. The beauty of the platform is that we can put you in front of new people.
Yes.
Like that's the beauty of it, right? And that's the thing that is the valuable piece. It's a value, and also it's the worst bit because it's only valuable to about 30, 50, 100 people. It's not valuable to all your drivers. It's valuable to Johnny. It's valuable to like this person, that person, that person. It's like, oh, have you got a problem on the race?
Oh, nope. Move away.
Ben's computer's gone bang.
I tried to do a replay and I hadn't tested if they were actually working today. So I think we know the answer to that one.
Dear.
Nothing to see here.
Anyway, so yeah, moving on. So yeah, like I say, it's they're all gonna eventually get to the same point and realize that it's actually it's the communities that are that get the value from the platform, like the community admins and owners that get the value from the platform, not necessarily the drivers.
Would you say, Steve? Can I just say, like, while we're on the party of like that's true to a point, but wouldn't you say that when if you've got lots of large communities on one platform, and you get a lot of like cross transfer of people between communities on that same platform, so if you created a new platform right now, you wouldn't have that. And I think we've seen it with some of our like one-off events. People who race in other series go, oh, I'll just go and try out this one event, like the endurance ones that we've got going on and things like that. And that's why we've seen suddenly our next Enduro is full again. Like, it's because people race in other series and they go, oh, I've got a spare Saturday. I wouldn't mind going and find another race. And they find us on there doing stuff.
But this is exactly it, where that's exactly the point I'm making, is that it's the value the value of the platform is that you bring these people together and you bring these communities together and that they cross-pollinate and you display all of your stuff in a nice way and they can find these events and everything. These new platforms and struggling platforms will, you know, they'll understand that actually, you know, looking after the communities and making sure that they're happy is the only thing that sort of really keeps these things going. Because without if you don't have the community, if you don't have the drivers, then it's like the whole value of the platform's gone. Like you know what I mean, right? Yeah. The drivers want to race with you guys, basically.
Yeah.
They don't want to race with. They're not racing with you because you're on SimGrid. They're not racing with you because you're on SGP. They're racing because it's you. But the fact that we're all together means that people discover you and that they find maybe something you don't do. Maybe it's like an F1 race that they really want to do, but it's on a different community. I mean, flipping heck. I mean, I've raced in a million communities. Like, they all do something slightly different. So it's like, you know, just for catering for different tastes and whatnot. So
yeah. And do you not think as well, it'd be great if the game developers tapped into that? Because I can guarantee that possibly ACC's player base, probably well over 50, 60, 70% even, of people that race ACC and race that sim racing communities.
This is a really good point. So, if you spoke to, generally speaking, like there's a YouTuber who I love, and he's like, any new sim has to have ranked daily racing, a la iRacing LFM. It has to have it.
No.
LMU's got it.
And no one uses it.
LMU's got it. ACC had the community, the servers, and this, that, and the other. It didn't have the daily racing, and it still survived. It still did its thing. LFM did the daily racing thing and absolutely took it to another level. But it was both. It's not one or the other. It's both. And I think, like, if you're if you think it's just about the daily racing, you're miles off. Miles off. Like, it's this sort of stuff which is what, in my opinion, is like the heartbeat of it. Like the the daily racing, the ranked racing, all of that stuff is like, I've got 5 minutes. Half an hour, an hour. I'm going to jump in. I want something there. Cool. I've got my fix. I'm off. But it's like actually the communities, friendships, and relationships that are built around a game, which is like they're the thing. That's the thing that keeps people coming back. I mean, like talking of Race Room, there's Race Room communities that I know that are still racing Race Room, and they've done so for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then they're not going to stop just because like the graphics haven't been updated. They're going to carry on because they're mates.
It's the thing with AC as well, and I think I hope you can see what I think we've done for SimGrid with AC, because AC launched on SimGrid not too before we joined, and literally we just went, right, we want this, and Ben Meyert's been amazing by just getting all this content onto SimGrid, all that we use, and we're seeing some of the best grids we've ever had on SimGrid on AC, because people just want to race it, and we only do one AC and race a week. There was talk of doing 2, and I think if we did 2, we could fill 2. But I think that game has survived by communities and the modding community as well. They just want different things. I want to be able to race fucking bread vans at Cadwell Park. It's a bit of a laugh. Do you know what I mean? It got people laughing. It got people having a laugh. Like Monday, we're doing a dirt oval race. Like, what other game has someone's modded a dirt oval? Do you know what I mean? Someone's modded that, and it actually worked pretty good, and that has kept AC alive. And that's, for me, is going to be the biggest thing for AC Evo. Is like, keep that modding community alive, keep the community and the spirit alive. Just bring everything in that you want to bring in from every other game out there, and you're onto a winner. They'll make tons of money. They'll make everything. They'll just rinse everything. It'll piss all over iRacing. It'll piss all over everything if they get it right.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I think. So here's a question: like, does it need mods? Like, by the way, I know nothing about like their mod strategy or anything. I know nothing about it. Right? Does it need mods? And the reason why I asked that is if ACC, we've seen like a content slowdown for sure, but like if ACC every month launched a new track, every month, right, and then every quarter was like, here's a new car, like a Formula car or a this, would that not tick the boxes with no mod?
But the problem is, you can never create as much DLC as you can create mods.
Yeah,
so the mods means, admittedly, some mods are crap. Like you can load up a track mod and it's just full of holes where cars fall through and all sorts of stuff, which obviously is a little bit different. So you've got to look at it in that sense of the quality of the mods. But we've seen from stuff like R Factor 2, that's why R Factor 2 is still a thing, I would say, is not because of the British touring car content that they've slowly added over the last couple of years. R Factor 2 is still a thing because I go, I want to go and race 94 Formula 1 cars. I can just go and download the entire grid, all with custom liveries, and all the classic tracks, which I have, and I can just go and do, I don't know, new Barcelona with classic cars, for instance, Yeah. So I think it's very difficult. Even iRacing, the kings of DLC, their release schedule is a track or 2 every month, a track a month and a couple of cars a month, and whether that's enough to keep up, it's enough to keep up for them because they've got such a pool of content already. But if you're doing that on a new startup, it's going to take you 5 years to get to where iRacing have it.
If ACC turn around and say, on the back of AC Evo, this is AC Evo, this is our new game, bang, bang, bang. If ACC turn around and go, right, we're going to release every series that SRO run onto ACC, every car, every track. And we're going to do it in a schedule of, like you said, a circuit a month, a couple of track, a different, whether it be TC America, for instance, or yes, I would. Yeah, it would keep ACC alive.
That's the point. Sorry, go on, Johnny.
I think personally, if AC Evo get it right and do what people want them to do, or whether they do it, I don't know what they're going to do. But if they get it right, I think ACC would die.
But that's exactly my point. Is like imagine that they did just dump all of that DLC in now, right? Just in one big thing, right? TCR, tracks, Asia, America, all of this. You think ACC is going to die tomorrow? No, that would be like another second wind. Away we go for another 5 years.
3. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right.
100%.
So it's like that's my point. It's like can games be made without mods? Arguably, I think it could. I think ACC is like a testament to that. Like it's been GT3 cars. Like I know I say that, yeah, and you've got a full grid of like mixed class and everything. but generally speaking, I think like most communities they're going to do GT3 because that's the only thing that people turn up for. Like most communities, right? But like if they dumped a bunch of content in now, like you would pay for it first of all.
100%.
If they said we've got TCR cars for ACC and it's 15 quid,
take my money.
I'd say 90% of the community are going to go right. We're buying it, and then here's the America tracks. That's another 15 quid. Here are the Asia tracks. Another 15 quid. Like, I suppose my point is, can you make a game without mods? I think there is evidence to suggest you can. I'm not saying that it's the right way. They've already said that they're going to do mods, right, for AC Evo. So whatever that looks like, I just wonder if you need to. That's the question I'm asking.
I think it needs. If it doesn't necessarily need mods, it needs everything that's broken in ACC needs to be fixed and put in AC Evo. So driver swap, there needs to be a better way to do a driver swap. This way, shit. We make it work. We make it work.
I disagree. I think the way that you need to do driver swaps is send a letter in the post to your driver with the tyre pressures that you want. Wait for them to receive the letter, open it up. And go, okay, yeah. No, I agree. There's got to be a better way. iRacing.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their lobby system is. I have some issues with iRacing, but damn, their team's setup they've got now for the last couple of years is excellent.
For me, I think if AC Evo has good amount of content, a good variety of content, and it allows you to do things that you can't already do, it'll be a winner.
I hope so.
I really do. I really do. I think if they take everything that's good about AMS2, they take everything that's good about iRacing, take everything that's good about ACC, and they just think, well, we're going to make this mega game, I just think they're onto a winner. I just do. I just think they've got it the whole market corner. I think it'll be the biggest sim out there for people to race on.
Think...
My will to want it to happen is amazing. The reality of it is, I think we're going to get a mediocre game.
I don't know, because I think a lot of people are knocking AC Evo before it comes out because of ACC. But the thing is that some people don't understand that ACC is built on a different engine.
Massive,
I thought you were going to go a different route with that.
Okay,
go on, Ben.
You could, in theory, you could add all the stuff from ACC if you own it. You could add it into AC Evo as DLC, which might be a way forward going forward. But right now, for release, why would they get rid of AC Evo, ACC? Because it is accepted as the best GT3 handling game sim out there, even better than iRacing's update's very good, but it's still not quite what ACC is. So why not keep this going for a couple more years? Release, like Steve mentioned, just go mental. Put Asia GT Cup on here.
Why wouldn't they just go for 35 quid? You get a season pass and you get everything.
Be minted.
Everything else, there you go.
Because then AC Evo is obviously new engine. I understand that when it comes out, it might feel a little bit slim compared. It will feel slim compared to what AC is. Let's be honest, because the amount of content in AC is not really a fair comparison. 100%. But if they get AC Evo right, hell. Where was it? It hasn't really been seen in the sim racing world, but a mod marketplace. There was a mod marketplace built into Steam.
Flight Sim.
What was
the
it
workshop
for?
on?
Was it
the
Skyrim
workshop
or
on
something?
Steam. The workshop on Steam was for R-Factor 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they had a couple of games had a paid.
Mass Effect do it.
Yeah, they had a paid mod workshop, so you could offer up, and then Steam or the developers take a certain amount. if they did that for AC Evo with their mod support, as long as it's not licensed ripped from other games, and they had a system to manage that, because that's always one of the big fears about mods is people just go and rip the cars and stuff from other games and then put them in. Which
AMS2.
But
well, no, but it happens in AC.
it
all
has happened
over the place.
And there's,
but Ben, I think you're onto something there personally.
I'm in the wrong career, mate.
If I was them, that's exactly what I would do. I'd say it's because there is a lot of shit on AC mods, like, and when I say shit, I don't mean like people who are putting tons of hours in and making something that's not great quality. I'm talking about people that are ripping shit from other games, and like really making low quality like efforts to say, I've got a model from another game and some physics from an old car, and I'm chucking it, and I'm going to charge you money for it and call it like SimDream, right? Like that shit, right? That can get fucked, in my opinion. That sort of stuff can just that doesn't belong in our industry, in my opinion. But if imagine you had like a curated marketplace where I can go and get the license for a Praga and build the thing, like, and then it's Praga's decision, right? Who they give this license to, and I might be Steve in a shed, no experience. Or I might be RSS, or VRS, right? Or VRC, sorry. Like if I'm them, I'm going to give that license to one of those guys because they're going to do a good job, right? And then I go to the marketplace and say, I've got the license. It's your standard. It's the standard of the game. It's X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to charge £3 for it, £4, £5 for it, and it goes on the store, and it's almost like Apple. You know, like how when Apple, like you submit an app to the App Store, Apple check it. They go, okay, yeah, it's not doing anything malicious. There's no malware. There's no viruses. It can go on the App Store. But I'd do the same. I'd just be like, yeah, there's no problems. There's no viruses. There's no nothing. It's good quality. There's a high standard. You can put that on there, and you've got the license. The grey area, it's not even grey area in this case. The black and white, you can't do it area is where do things like I'd see a Lamborghini GT3 on screen right now. Like someone makes a Lamborghini GT3, like where does that sit in the world of new marketplace things? It's like, are you endorsing it? Is it official? Is it like, what is it? I don't know. I really don't know.
Wow. That was...
Aiden asked the question about half an hour ago, I think.
I did. I know. I'm absolutely loving the fact that we just go on a tangent, and that just completely blew my mind. I was just sitting there loving that. I did have one more question. I think it's been mostly answered. I will ask it nonetheless. We've had the pandemic, we've had COVID, we've had lockdown. That really put a light on the sim racing. We've had real life drivers taking part in sim racing events during lockdown to try and, there was like charity races, and we had those guys, in a way, really interact with their fans in a way that we've never seen before. But back to reasonably normal life. I think I'm assuming I'll be safe to say this: the sim racing hasn't died a death. We're still here. That's a safe assessment. But how do we? More of a kind of future-proof question. How do we ensure that continues? How does that momentum, that wave of people jumping on their computer, pretending to be race car drivers, but actually having fun doing so, having that community? As you rightly said, it is a community-based thing, and I think, again, we touched upon it a lot. It is with SimGrid as well. It's a community-based thing. We launch our events. People can dib and dab into different communities. That also goes to show as well. I did my market research. You've hit 1,000 communities recently.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of question that's already been answered. But if you want to elaborate a bit more on that, I'm not specifically asking you what SimGrid's future plans, but
no, I understand.
Do you have that kind of thought for the future to future-proof what sim racing is basically?
Yeah, I think it's a massive question. So just to quickly tick the boxes for the SimGrid side. Like I say, like my job for for a while has been trying to sort of ensure the future of SimGrid through strategic partnerships that I've been working on, and there's hopefully even some news coming out in the next week or two that will show you that like we're committed to this for the very long term, and the new games that are coming out are going to breathe new life into the industry. Just remembered something. I'm going to have to go back to it real quick. People forget the state that ACC was in when it launched.
Yeah.
Like make no mistake, right? People hated ACC when it launched. There was a bunch of problems. There was this, that, and the other. But my God, did they fix it, right? My God, did they really produce something of a lot of value for us, right? So on the AC Evo thing, when you said it's going to be light in content, it's going to be this, it's like, if they deliver something that is 10 out of 10 on day one, it would be a miracle.
Yeah.
Like, if they deliver something that's Soda Crown bad,
I was just about to mention test drive, man, and they can't even get in the surface.
Mate, if they deliver something that bad, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
It won't be that bad. So you got. I think it's just gonna have to let that breathe a little bit. I think, like, you know, it's gonna come in some form or another. But just remember, you know, where ACC was when that first launched in early access. Going back to your question. So SimGrid, we're doing everything we can to secure the future of SimGrid as a business. Bringing communities on like oNiD has been a big part of like of my efforts. The strategic partnerships, blah blah blah, all of that. So from SimGrid, we're really happy. These new sims and stuff, great. Broader than that, bigger than that, is like the question I've got back to you, Aidan, is.
Mm.
You mentioned about these drivers that came in during the COVID. Where are they now?
Still here.
Still here.
No. Sorry. The real world drivers, the famous drivers,
yeah.
the ones that in their hour of need turned to sim racing. Where are they now?
Back to real life.
Back
Mostly.
to real life.
There's a few that are still. You think Redline, the teams like that with Verstappen, but apart from that,
not many, right?
Not many.
But the spotlight that they brought onto the scene definitely helped. There's no question. I just think I would have liked to have seen a few more stick around and been like, do you know the one that really sort of like George Russell and Lando Norris and that? I'm like, that was their thing, right? When COVID was happening, they were there every week. Charles Leclerc, Norris on the thing. I get their Formula One drivers and stuff, but like, I don't know. There's something where I just wish that they would just be like, do you know what? I owe it to sim racing a little bit, just to sort of engage like every now and then, just to do something.
Funny you say that.
Yeah.
Funny you say that. Do you not think people that are brought up in sim racing now getting into real racing is exactly the same thing? They're forgetting about it a little bit.
That's a really good point.
The lines are a little bit blurred.
I'm not going to say any names. But...
No.
There's a few.
But it's a point, isn't it? It's
very
a point.
Good point.
The Jimmys, the Jardiers, the people that have made a success of sim racing, and then getting real life drives.
I would say there's a few that have stuck around, and I can't remember his name. But the McLaren, what was it, fastest driver thing? What was it?
James Baldwin.
Yeah, James Baldwin. Still does a load of sim stuff, and is one of the most naturally gifted GT drivers to not have a permanent drive. It's actually disgusting. But there are a few. But yes, I know.
I think I was like where my mind goes when I think of that is like the really big names like the Landos and the Charles Leclerc and stuff. That sim racing was there for them, and now it's nowhere for them. Like I saw, like I know that I say this now, and I literally saw a clip last week of Lando sim racing, So maybe that's a little bit unfair, but like genuinely, like I remember a quote from Lando a couple of months after we'd sort of come out of lockdown, and it was along the lines of, yeah, sim racing's nowhere for me. It's just like this thing that whatever. Whereas Max is like, it's as important.
To be fair, the F1 ones are a good example, but then also a bad example because they're on F1 games, which are shit and not really sim racing.
Yeah,
so
true.
It's definitely. We saw a lot of GT drivers and stuff. I was thinking along the lines of the Le Mans virtual stuff.
Yeah.
And we had loads of. Like, the production quality of that was insane, and obviously it ran into issues and stuff, but the real world drivers have pretty much pretty much disappeared off that, because there were so many people in there, a lot of them active GT drivers, for instance, endurance drivers, wet drivers. So, but
also with some of the real life like GT stuff, that obviously the COVID's finished and the guys back out racing week in, week out. But surely they've got to thank sim racing for the larger crowds that they see.
This is exactly what I mean. This is exactly my point.
You could go to British GT 5 years ago and there'd be two blokes and a dog stood 100%. Watching it. And now, okay, granted, I'm not going this week because what has happened, but a load of oNiD people are going Donny on Sunday.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're all going to watch it. Valentino Rossi turns up in World Challenge, and all of a sudden across the weekend there's 120,000 people sat at brands just for Valentino Rossi, all of them sim racing fans that are sim racing and know what British GT is and know what World Challenge is. I kind of guess the point is I'm with you, Steve, like surely they should. I've never seen Rossi in a sim race.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Like that's a good point. I just want to say I don't think that the impact that ACC has had on SRO is lost on SRO. By the way,
no, 100%.
I think that I was at the very first esports, the SRO esports event in Monza in 2019, and I'm sure like they wouldn't mind me saying it, but like the guys that are in charge of SRO esports in 2019 and Stefan Rattel, the owner of SRO, they came down, they looked at the thing in Monza in the pit lane, and they looked at it and they're like, it kind of looked like, what the hell is this? Like, what is this thing that has happened? They've got this game, they've got this thing, they don't really know what's going on. They were kind of just like a little bit like, oh look. Some of them were like, oh, this is really cool, but like whatever. Some of them were just like, I don't know what the hell this is. Now it's like, this is important. This is like really important for us because they can see the numbers. They are super engaged. They're like, they love the esports stuff. They love the fact that the impact it's had on the real world stuff. So it's not lost on the people that are the people that are running SRO, for example. It's not lost on them. I suppose my gripe a little bit is just with like some of the drivers that benefited from sim racing when it was there for them, you know. That's I suppose my gripe. I do have one other point to add though, Aiden. If you've got another hour.
I'm here for the whole evening if needed. It's absolutely fine.
Which is that. I think that the way that motorsport and car ownership in general is going is people don't really care as much about cars as they once did. I think like when I look at like my nephew who's 17, his friends and younger generations, I don't know. I just don't get the impression that they're as into loving cars as much as we were. This is just a hunch. This is just a hunch, right? So there's part of me that's a bit like, what's the new generation coming through? What are they going to be interested in? And the second part is that there's a ton of data out there around that sort of age group that are they view car ownership more like a mode of transport, get from A to B, rather than this thing that can go fast and it's like a source of entertainment and whatever. There's a ton of it, and their car purchasing, buying motivators are things like how efficient it is. Is it electric? Is it good for the environment? Is it this, that, and the other? Right? Rather than how many horsepower has it got? Can I lower the suspension? Can I do this, that, and the other? And so where are we going, right? So we're going to have this like electrification or greenification, let's say, because I don't know if it's going to be electric. Like it felt like at one point it was going to be electric, but it still doesn't know if that's going to be the thing.
Hydrogen, it's going to be
hydrogen or whatever. So whatever direction it's going to be, we know it's not going to be internal combustion, right? That's pretty much guaranteed. So where are you going to get the experience of a V12 Aston Martin or a V12 Maserati or whatever, right? The only place you're going to be able to do it is in the sim. So I think long-term future of sim, I think, is safe because it might be the only place you get to experience that type of car.
Matt in chat's made a really good point, Steve, around the lack of motorsport and terrestrial TV as well. Because you remember when, I know I'm going to show my age a little bit now, but do you remember when we were kids and you could watch all the Formula One, you had MotoGP, touring cars,
BTCC,
all of that. You could even watch World Touring Cars and stuff on that. It was like in the middle of the night, so whatever. But loads of different things. And now the only thing, even Formula E's gone from terrestrial now. The only thing that's on terrestrial is the odd F1 race and touring cars. British touring cars. ITV do all the touring cars, and they've kept it for so long because so many people watch it. It's really good.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing.
You had Transworld Sport, didn't you?
Yeah, Transworld Sport. Yeah,
Transworld Sport. Everything was on there. Everything was on there. Yeah. And Grandstand used to have WTCC, where you had like Menu and Muller racing in it, with Murray Walker commentating on it.
What a mess they've made of Grandstand, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grandstand was great. You had everything on there. You could watch fucking touring cars, equestrian.
Yeah.
There was
back in my day.
Yeah, but it was.
But it was good, right? It was good.
And that is part of it. Like Matt makes a good point there. That is part of it. Is unless you're lucky to have all the different channels. Like Formula One, for instance, is literally on the most expensive sport thing that you can get. The most expensive Sky package is the one that you have to have Sky Sports F1 if you're an F1 fan. And then MotoGP is on TNT or BT or whatever it is now.
Yeah, that's another 20 quid, isn't it?
Yeah. So
that's an amazing point.
But also, I think there is a point to say that Ben, and to a certain extent to Aidan as well, is we grew up near a racetrack.
That's true. Yeah.
We grew up near a racetrack. We were near, me and Ben, we were near Silverstone. So I remember going to Formula One testing on a Thursday in the summer holidays. Me and my granddad would go up. You didn't have to pay to get in. You just walked in, and you could watch Formula One cars go round testing. And it'd be Schumacher just in, installation laps, but you still got to see it. I used to go to, Ben, you remember it, the Autumn Gold Cup.
Yeah.
But we had Rockingham as well, so kids were encouraged to go and watch the ASCAR series at Rockingham. We watched touring cars. Kart was there, and we were lucky enough in the position we are. I don't think that there is many racetracks that really promote themselves that very much anymore to get people interested. Like my girls, I was going to take one of my girls to Donington with me on Sunday. And they want to go for it'd be really good. I guarantee half a day, and they'll be like,
in the rain.
It'd
be in the rain, wouldn't it? Yeah. Last year it was alright because it wasn't raining, but half a day in the rain, and then I've had enough.
There must be something, because you still got British support series like Ginetta Juniors, Ginetta Academy, that have got young drivers in it. There must be something out there. They haven't all come from sim racing, have they?
No, but they all are doing it.
They're definitely all doing it.
Yeah, like they're definitely. It may not. They've come from sim racing, but they like the younger generation. If they are into motorsport, they're definitely doing sim racing for sure. I think it's like a broader evaluation of like the population in my opinion, which is that I think again, and it's actually I will reference it, and I'll give you some references to some studies about like the sentiment towards cars in younger generations. There are going to be motorsport fans. There are going to be motorsport kids. There are going to be people that are racing cars. No doubt about that. It's the viewership, which is the problem. It's like you touched on, Johnny. It's not the people that want to race cars. There's always going to be people that want to race cars and want to go quick. It's the people that think this is a form of entertainment. Why is the thing that gets me to Tesco's on 10 minutes of charge at my house? Why is that entertainment? That's the problem which I think we might face. But yeah, it's a really good point about the terrestrial TV and access to viewing quality motorsport. It's so disparate now. Like you say, you used to have it all in one day. Like your race day could be planned out on your TV. You could watch the whole thing. It was great. But you can't do that now.
No, and even if you are close to the tracks, who in their right? I know, like going to see British GT, it's bigger now, so it's like 20 quid a ticket or something. It's not very much for a day. And like touring cars, it's like 20, 30 quid for the ticket. But then you look at F1 and you go, because that's what most people would identify with, maybe the more casual, but even people who are really into motor racing will probably watch Formula 1, to bring my chance. When it's 300-400 quid for a ticket for a day, and all you're going to get is an F3 race, an F2 race, which are both half hour, and then you get an hour and a half Formula 1 race. And for that money, you get the Porsche Cup as well, the World Porsche Cup. But like, you're not even going to get a seat potentially for 300-400 quid or whatever it is. And on Sunday I can go to Donny and I can just take my chair with me, sit on whatever corner I want for 20 quid. Yeah. Grab a cup of tea, maybe take my umbrella when it's raining, and I'll just sit there all day, and there's constant racing all day. They'll literally start at 9:30 in the morning, and the last race is at 6, is it? Something like that? Donny's, it's mental. 5 o'clock.
Officially, curfew's at 7.
Yeah, so... But yeah, we did it earlier. Me and Johnny did it earlier at Donny, didn't we? And we were there all day. We were literally there all day. And admittedly, 3 hours of it, the whole track was underwater, so they couldn't do any racing. But we still had a blast. It was still fun. So, yeah.
I do relate to that as well, because I have memories of my dad taking me to well, I say my dad, it was me, mum and dad going to Silverstone. Dad used to marshal a lot. We used to live in Luton, and he would make the drive up, and we'd meet him for breakfast, and we would go see him on post, we would watch the racing, we'd sometimes camp out in the marshal's campsite when it was a good campsite at Silverstone before the cottage was built on top of it. And then that's kind of stopped for a little while. Well, I love a motorsport was still there, and but then I kind of slowly got back into it as well myself. Me doing the marshalling as well, and going to Donington. I'm now living so close to there. But again, the only reason I did that was because I saw it on the TV when I was young. I saw it on ITV. I remember the black and white McLaren of David Coulthard and Mika Hakkinen.
Yeah. We were.
It's not like now. We had to pay for it.
Watching F1. Then we went to uni together. Watching F1 for us was an event.
Yeah, every 2 weeks we'd watch F1.
We'd watch it Friday practice 2, Saturday morning practice 3, Saturday qualifying, Sunday race. That was a weekend. If there was a Formula 1 race, that was our weekend. We'd sit down, we'd go shopping, get our bits that we wanted for the weekend, and we'd just watch it because it was accessible.
Do you think that what you described there of sitting on the corner with a cup of tea, do you think there's some sort of like nostalgia in that? Like, because for a normal person, that's not an enjoyable experience.
It's very Britishly nostalgic.
Yeah, I don't think it's
rain.
I don't think it's nostalgia. I think it's just love of motorsport. I think that's more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean because that's what I saw when I was growing up.
That's true.
Was the people doing that, and I was like, when I was now the person doing that, it was kind of like, this is motorsport. And it's like, I only know that because that's what I saw when I was growing up, when I was like dragged to racetracks with my dad and stuff, and we would sit there and I'd be like, as a kid, like Johnny, as you described, thinking, oh God, I'm probably done now. And then like you slowly get into it, you slowly start like getting like appreciation for the cars and stuff. And then when you're finally able in a position to go, fuck it, I'm gonna sit on the corner and do that. I'm like, it's got something kind of warm and nostalgic about it. I think. I don't know. I might be wrong.
Ben will tell you I am the most excitable person when I get to a racetrack.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Let's go find our seat. Let's go and go find a good place to seat. Oh, near
the cars.
I need near a coffee, near a toilet, near breakfast. That's like. The three things I look for, and once I've got them, I'll sit on my chair and I will sit there all day. And I will
Hollywood Hill, turn 1.
Literally not.
That's where we'll be at the weekend.
Literally not move. I'm the biggest fan of it.
Near beer is the only one. That's the only one that you missed.
Well, we did it for the Silverstone 500. I literally, we all did. We parked ourselves at Luffield, and I sat there all day.
Yeah.
Apart from going to see Jimmy quickly in the pits at the Silverstone 500, that was it. I didn't move. I just sat there with a bag of snacks and was just happy.
Yeah, mate, that's what it's all about.
You can loop that back, actually. You can loop that back to the oNiD stuff and say, we were on Luffield with like 20 people.
Yeah.
All oNiD related. So that's
all oNiD people.
Yeah, all oNiD people. Plus wives.
Plus wives. And potentially the odd child here and there.
Yeah, the odd child here and there. But it'll be the same. I think there's going to be about 10 of us on Sunday.
10 or 12 of us, yeah. Mostly put off by the weather. But will be. Well, put off by the weather, and one certain person has an injury, which is absolutely fine.
If there's a storm, I might not last past 1 o'clock or something. I'll get halfway through the GT race and be like underwater, and I'm like, I'm done.
It was not like we went to the touring cars where we had a bit of nice hospitality and a fucking
that was
nice. In the dry.
Exactly.
I just got to ask, has Adam had a go at you at all about your injury?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the OG peg leg. I'm peg leg the second.
Right, I was going to say. It's just dawned on me. I was like, yeah, surely he must have had a go at you, yeah.
Yeah, he did, yeah. So.
Well, that has been a really good about an hour and a half, basically, of chatting. Talking shit. I think it's come to the point in the evening where we have already announced our Season 3. But we do have a little video for you guys, just to kind of round up what's going to be happening within the next 8 weeks. There are some changes. We've moved a couple of things around, but we're really, really hoping that you guys are going to love what we've got for you. Ben has kind of very kindly put up our poster for Season 3, our timetable. We have Monday, Tuesdays, two seasons on a Thursday, and our main Sunday. All starts on the 16th of September. We're very excited to bring it to you. Ben, do we have the video?
Yeah, we'll do the video, and then we've got another announcement, because apparently one announcement this week isn't enough. We have another one, so we'll watch the video back. Yeah. So we'll watch the video if you haven't seen it already, and then we'll be back, have a little bit of a chat about what's happening this season and what the announcement is.
Awesome stuff. Hello everyone. Oh god, you're not still here. Even after that jam-packed Season 2. And you want more? Well, I'm pleased to say we are happy to oblige. With thanks to our wonderful admins, stream team and sponsors, oNiD Community Racing are pleased to introduce Season 3 starting on the 16th of September 2024. Another 8 weeks of league racing across all the usual platforms, but please pay attention on this one. There are a couple of changes. Watch out and be sure that you sign up to the right league on the right day. On Monday nights, Racing Stronger takes to our screens with the World Sprint Championship, GT3 AM and Pro classes battling it out in short sprint races with no compulsory pit stops, sponsored by Kadam Computers. On Tuesdays, Assetto Corsa brings us the oNiD World Touring Car Championship, sponsored by Go for the Gap. Short races with reverse grids will bring Tin Top Tuesdays to your screens for what will be an action-packed evening of touring car racing. The oNiD Amateurs Championship retains its usual slot on a Thursday night. A starting ground for those new or returning to sim racing, with our admin and coaching team offering advice and coaching sessions. Sponsored by SimHound. We are pleased to be supporting Racing Stronger on their first GT4 Championship. Sign up is available via their community page on simracing.gp. We round off our week with our feature Sunday Night League. We return to single class racing for the GT3 Showdown Championship, as we revert to the previously used Showdown format from past seasons. Our one-off events for this season takes us to Watkins Glen and the Nürburgring, for the 8 hours of Watkins Glen and 6 hours of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Both races will be streamed live on Twitch. And that, folks, is Season 3. Once again, thank you to the oNiD Racing community members, Patreon supporters, admins, stream team and sponsors.
And he can't hear you because he didn't have his headset on.
This one isn't so bad. This is Sun God, 6.3%. I love my wife, but I swear she just wants to get me pissed all the time. 6.3% beers.
Last time we had a big night of racing, and didn't someone get very drunk and end up ordering a pizza and taking it through taking it through his window of his house or something?
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's about right. Don't tempt me.
Well, as we said, Season 3 starts 16th of September. We have had a change. I'm muted apparently. That's
No, you're
interesting.
Not. You're not.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, wonderful.
You're not now.
Thank you, Magda. I'm not now. Okay, that's fine.
It.
You fixed
So
it. You're good like that.
I'll give an update of Season 3, because Season 3 is been out since we released it to the patrons and the OGs on Monday, and then we released it to the public on Wednesday. And quite incredibly, a lot of events have already filled. So we're getting back to the level of, where we were with SGP. It's like 24 hours and oh my god, it's full. So we'll run through. So the Mondays, we've got the World Touring Cars. That is already filled with 30 people signed up. Mm-hmm. And I think we've got 8, 9, maybe even 10 reserves sitting and waiting. That's on a Tuesday, sorry. Then Mondays, we've got the Caden Computer RS GT3, which is full. That's got 50 in, which is ridiculous for a World Sprint Championship. That's full. We've got the Amateur Series, which is 3/4 full, which is on a Thursday. The Sunday Showdown, he's got 45 registrations already, so there's only 5 spots left in that one. And we've also got the RSGT4, which is, I think it's 30 out of 36. So, incredible response. And in the middle of that, we've got the Watkins 8 hour, which is full with 48 teams, which is ridiculous. And we have got one more event coming up at the end of the season, which is a Nord 6 hour, which I have a feeling might fill pretty quickly. Everyone seems to love the Nordschleife. I couldn't think of anything fucking worse.
And can I quickly say, you lot voted for Nords, and you lot wanted it. If you don't bloody sign up, we're ignoring you again. I'm not going into this. I have this fight. I've had this fight 3 vodcasts in a row. All right? You bloody sign up.
But no, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And the levels of people signing up got me thinking, which is always dangerous when I start thinking. And I was like, we need another series. Like, there's going to be so many people that have missed out on stuff already. We need another series. So we are going to announce another series. And we are going to announce it's going to be Wednesday evenings. We took a little bit of feedback from the community. Don't kill me, Ben. And we are going to release a Wednesday night series. And it is going to be on ACC. And it is going to be a single spec GT4 series. And we are going the one and only Ginetta Spec Series. We are going to race the Ginettas. We're going to have some fun with it. I don't know what the tracks are going to be yet. That's all going to be next week's job, that we're going to get that all sorted out and get that released. But yeah, Wednesday evenings, something new for oNiD. We are going to do that Ginetta Spec Series. Everyone loves the Ginetta. I love the Ginetta, if you've never noticed. It's just going to be a good one. It's going to be good. It's something different. It doesn't matter if we don't, it'd be great if we got like 30, 40 sign-ups for it. But the Ginetta racing doesn't matter if you get 20, because it's just great fun. It's great fun.
We love to hate it, but honestly, we do love it.
Yes, we absolutely love it. It's going to be a good series. So that will be released next week. So for people who didn't manage to get anything, or can't actually race on those days that we race the Wednesdays, it is coming back Wednesday night ACC. So we're going to have that Ginetta series for you to get signed up for, which is going to be awesome. And it's going to be run by our newly promoted community manager. So from Extreme Beef, Simon Harris, who you guys might know, was successfully run our console side for the best part of 3 years, and on SimGrid. He was the sole person on SimGrid when we before the PC side came over, and he stepped down from the Xbox and console side, and he's joined the team on the PC side. So he's going to be taking his first series, and we look forward to getting that running and getting him involved with that as well. So exciting stuff. I see Ben's run away for a fag because he's dying in the heat.
It is his nicotine. Let him have his nicotine. He'll quickly pop that away.
Absolutely. And one thing that wasn't mentioned on there, and I know Steve, we've got this because of you. Is one thing I did put in the announcement is we've got another successful season of the World Rally Championship starting as well. So we've gone into our fifth season, I think we are, with the oNiD Rally Club that came to light from the Virtual Rally Championship. We were supporting you with that. So that's Stevie's doing a great job on that, and it's
amazing. That's really good to hear.
We've got some really good people over there, and people are still racing it, which is fantastic. So
I've got back into it recently. Like I say, I'm a bit of a nerd. I've been racing it like offline. Racing against myself, pretending that I'm Kalle Rovanperä versus Steve Worrell. But it's good fun. It's improved actually, the game. Like it's like when it first launched, it had all of those problems, performance issues and stuff. I couldn't play it at one point. It was so bad, like the frame stuttering and stuff. It's all gone. Looks really good now. So yeah, glad to hear that it's still going from strength to strength.
Yeah, obviously we took. When VRC, obviously you went on a hiatus, we took that over and we made oNiD Rally Club, and we've kept it. Stevie's kept it going, to be honest. He's kept it going, and he's done a really good job with it. And we've got some help. I don't know if you remember, there was a guy that raced. I don't remember his name was. I think it was like TA96. He's rapid. He's absolutely rapid. He pretty much wins everything. But he's come on board to help out as well.
Nice.
So yeah, we've got a good little team over there, and they seem to be having a whale of a time. So,
brilliant.
Steve, if you do have some time, jump in and have a race.
You know what? I probably will actually. I probably will. I think that was. I suppose that's all I wanted from VRC, was just an active community, and like somewhere like an oNiD, like a community, and we had it with VRC. Like I loved it. I just couldn't manage it. Like life just got in the way and stuff. But it's amazing to hear that it's gone from strength to strength. And now that I've found a bit of time to get back in the rig, I'll probably check that out.
So we've got 2 clubs, 1 rally. So you got the pro rank drivers will be score in the WRC 1 cars, and rank drivers will score in WRC 2 cars. Ranks will be changed with Pro-Am being removed, and all drivers can still drive in both clubs, so you can still do both the rallies. And yeah, it looks a really good season. I'm not sure where we're heading to, but looks like there's going to be some snow from what I can see. So
yeah, love it.
There's power stage points, rally points. I know Stevie's he's taken your idea of a ranking system and kind of built on that. So there is a ranking system for the guys as well. So yeah, really good. You know, I don't have much involvement in it because I'm crap at rallying. Absolutely terrible. But them guys seem to really enjoy it. So it's really good. So season 3 has been a huge success already. with so many people signing up. It's just ridiculous. Great to see some Racing Stronger stuff in there as well. We're linking up with them. And still doing Racing Stronger stuff, which is really important because Steve, you were part of that early doors as well with Racing Stronger, and Adam's been taking that on, and me and Matt have been helping out as well, and we're now co-owners of that. So getting that in, being that name out there as well is still involved in getting that out there, and still having people racing with it, and it's a good thing. So we've got that going. I'm pleased to support that. So yeah, it's going to be good. We're going to have, like we said, we've got lots of socials coming up for the guys to race in. Spoiler alert: there will be an iRacing event.
I was kind of tempted. Do I say it? Is he going to say about it? Yes.
I know Ben will be gutted that I just said that and he's not here. But yes, there is going to be an iRacing special event, just to kind of test the waters.
We kind of figured out what we want to do. I'm desperately awaiting Ben because I don't want to be leaving him out because it's mostly I can claim a little bit of input into it, but it's mostly him that's really been the pushing force behind it.
And it will be free content, I think.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It will be free content. It's just going to be a one-off race, and just to test the waters. And now he's back. I'm not gonna.
Better not be talking about iRacing while I'm not here.
I literally just said, oh, and by the way, there will be an iRacing social, and Ben's going to kill me because he's not here when I said that.
I was trying to not elaborate too much. As I was saying, Ben, you've been the pushing force behind it mostly. I've helped, but you've been the pushing force behind it, really.
Yeah, we know that there's a lot of other like champs and seasons, and iRacing has a really good community base for that on their forums and things, and also there's a few on SimGrid as well, which is great. But we have a lot of people that like racing with each other, and they like iRacing, so we figured we're not going to do a full-blown championship of it because at the minute yet, but we definitely want to do some content, some socials with free content, get people that haven't played iRacing on there having a go, get some iRacing sweats on there to show us all how it's done, that sort of thing. It gives us some nice streaming opportunities as well if we can get that.
Exactly. So we're going to play that as well, play around with that. We haven't. I don't think we've quite decided yet what car it's going to be because there was a question over what was free content. I think we'd either decided on the Radicals or the MX-5.
Radicals or GR86 was it?
Yeah, GR86.
Oh, GR86.
But the Radicals are free. So
okay.
We'll see.
Oh, yeah. We'll see. We're going to see. Watch this space. It is going to come. We're just working out the last few bits of what we actually want to do.
Yeah, I'm working out the personnel. So.
Yeah, exactly. And it will happen. We're determined to make it happen. But yeah, watch this space.
I think that's one thing that we wanted to do. Was one of the big things that coming to SimGrid, Steve, was it gives us the opportunity to do iRacing as well. So yeah, I think we want to be that all-round community. I think that was kind of the goal, isn't it? Is to not necessarily, we're very ACC heavy, which is obvious because everyone races it. But I think we want to be offering more than just ACC. We've tried it with AMS2. There wasn't really the player base. AMS2, we'll touch on Season 2, but AMS2 in Season 2 was some of the best racing I've ever had.
Yeah.
Not only saying that because I won some races, but it was really good. The Clios were amazing. We'll touch on Season 2 shortly, but I think it's more that we want to be able to offer more than just GT3 racing. We want to be, we want to be able to go and do some LMP racing. We want to be able to go and do some Formula racing that isn't necessarily, the AC formulas are really good, really good. We don't want to touch on Formula 1 because some games are terrible. And I think Formula 1 communities can be quite toxic, and the drivers can be quite toxic. So it's something iRacing gives us that variety, doesn't it, where we can try a few different things. And
Formula 1 toxic?
Never. Have you been on Twitter?
What?
So we want to stay away from that. So we're so that's what we're doing, and I think it gives us more of an offering and to grow more on SimGrid as well. Because there'll be people out there that just race iRacing, and if we can tap into that market, we grow even more.
Yeah, big time. So yeah, keep your ears peeled for that. It will be announced when we've got all the things lined up and all the admin support, stream support, and when the date works, and when we've got everything lined up, we'll be sure to let you guys know.
And then I suppose all that's left to really talk about is season 2's coming to an end, and I think it's been our most successful season.
I think so. Yes. Out of the 2 we've had, well, 2 official seasons, but in terms of owned it completely, it's been absolutely mega.
We've had the highest rate. I think it's one of the highest rates of driver turnout, the highest grid size, especially given it's summer, and also the highest Twitch per event, like stream per event. We've had a really good hit rate on being able to stream. I think over 95% of the races that we planned to. I think it was.
Yeah,
pretty much every single one. I think pretty much every single one's been streamed. I think we've missed 1 or 2 rounds overall in the whole time.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
Yeah, fantastic. We've had some great championships.
Can I ask about the format of what we're doing right here? Is this a new thing? Is it, or is this for season 2 as well? Or
it's a new site.
Yeah. We always had. I think you were on it actually. See, we had the oNiD Arms for a little while.
Oh yeah.
Me and Adam used to do it. Then we had the Formula 1 podcast for a little while, which the guys would get together and record a podcast, and we would put it out there, and it was on Spotify and all of the places where you go to get podcasts, and it was there, and then it kind of all died a little bit of a death, and no one.
Everybody had kids. I seem to remember about the same time.
I forgot they had a telly for a while. Do you know what I mean? It was, and then it was just kind of. I said, I think it was just the start of the year. I said we need to get this back, and we need to do something, and we decided that with the move to SimGrid and the move to season-based racing, it was an opportunity for us to just do a VODCast every couple of weeks, or every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, wherever we all kind of wanted it, and we can talk about the season that's just gone by, the season that's coming ahead. We did it with the qualifying for the last endurance race. We had that on in the background, and we were streaming that and talking about that, and it just gives us a chance to kind of update the community on things that are going on, what goes on in my brain, what goes on in Ben's brain, and the inner workings of oNiD, and just kind of we let the guys jump questions at us if they want to know something and all this kind of stuff, and it's a bit more of a not outreach, but a bit more of a reach out to the community where we can they can ask us stuff and we can talk to them, we can interact with them, and because I'm not as to the front of everything as I used to be because we've got bigger, so I'll kind of more sit in the background, so it's a chance for them to kind of come and ask me stuff as well, and it's just good to have some good people on with us and try and get some guests on like yourself. You're our first guest, so privileged. So yeah, it's just about bringing people in and we can talk and getting people on and just having a good chat and a chinwag, and
I've enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed hearing the update from what's going on from you guys. That's been really cool, really cool. And also, I've been keeping an eye on the race as well, and it looks like it's kicking off. Lloydie's under a bit of pressure right now, which is it's looking good. So the racing's good as well. Still, like you're still putting on some good races, which is brilliant.
I think we need to get you back in an endurance race.
We do.
Well, when you said Watkins, was it what? No, Nords.
Yeah,
that's a bit of me. That's a bit of me.
that's what I took you.
Is it GT3?
Just GT3.
Oh,
yeah, I think that's what we'll be planning to do.
Well, unless I can talk Ben into anything else.
When is it?
19th October.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm here. Oh no, that's when Expo's on.
Oh.
Is it? I think it is.
WVO's going to do when the outside got caught up by traffic. Stevie's fault. Stevie did it on purpose.
Oh, Lloydie.
And we need to get you back in some races, because one of my funniest moments ever was Steve getting scared by his missus and losing the lead at Brands Hatch.
That still hurts.
The stars.
So we first launched the rookie season, and we had a pro and an am class in the rookie season. I think it was season 1 of the rookies we'd ever done. Steve's in there. He's in the AM class. He's like, right, and he's leading the way at Brands Hatch. He was so strong as well. It's like you're leading by 5-6 seconds. It's like you're gonna win this, and all of a sudden his missus walks in and scares the living shit out of him, and he's spinning. He's upside down on fire and all sorts.
Mate, it still hurts. I'm not joking. I'm like, I'd never won a race, and that was the first time I was going to win a race all across these curbs.
Jesus.
And that happened. So I still, she'll never live that down. So let's have a look. Sim Racing Expo. When is it?
Uh-oh. Where is it actually? Sim Racing Expo?
Sim Racing, it's in Dortmund again this year.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it looks like it's going to be a doozy because there are a million fucking brands signed up for it, which we'll see. But they've said. But it genuinely, actually, it looks like it's going to be good. It looks like it's going to be good, actually. Let's have a look.
oNiD road trip.
18th to the 20th of October.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll get you in the 24 instead.
Yeah,
I'd love to do 24.
There you go.
We're doing the Brands 24 in November.
Oh, don't know about that. God, the Brands 24. You guys, man. You did 24 hours of Indy as well. My God, that was
Twice. We did the 24 hours of Indy twice.
We did
such pain.
We picked the most difficult tracks to do. We did Bathurst as well. That was 24
we did
hours.
Bathurst earlier in the year, yeah.
Lord knows, I stayed up streaming all the bloody hell of it.
Damn. Right. Okay. So what other tracks have you got? Yeah, Brands. Obviously,
Right.
Brands. Oh no, you're gonna do 24 hours of SNET, aren't you?
Oh my God!
Oh wow! Hold on a minute.
We have actually joked about it. Multi-class as well.
We did do the GT4 6-hour Volton last year, didn't we?
Yeah,
that was good.
actually
That
fair.
was good.
That was
That
one
was
of our
good.
best enduros, and I'm not saying that because I won, but it was one of the best enduros. Just
Did you
saying.
say 24 hours of Alton?
No,
Yeah,
we
we
did
did-
the 6
yeah, we did
six hours
6.
Volton, but it was in
I mean-
GT4s.
I mean, I'm down for that. That sounds
was
like,
great,
again,
yeah.
that's a bit of me, that, for sure. What was I going to say? Yeah, it's really good of you, actually, to move the date of the Nordschleife 6 hours. really good. I genuinely, I really do want to do an endurance race. I like John. I want to do something with. I want to race with John again. I miss it. It's amazing to see. Oh, I was just talking of about to talk about zebras, and one of them's gone off track. Or is this a replay?
It's the
It's
replay of
replay.
Gary.
It was Gary.
Here's Gary going off.
But it's great to see they're still going strong and they're still representing. It's great. But I would love to race with John again. I came away. I don't know if I've spoken to you since, Johnny, but where Spa 24 hours in real life with Dave and his car getting crashed out.
Oh.
Even though it wasn't a great weekend for Dave and like the racing and stuff, I came away from that thinking I really need to do a 24-hour of Spa. So
I can't believe you sacked off my barbecue for that.
I know. Can you believe it? Mate, if I'd have known that that's what I was going to go to, I would never have gone. My God.
Yeah.
It was a tough weekend. I don't know if I've got time to tell you about the series of events of how that unfolded. If I haven't already told you, my God, mate, this was wild, right? So we get to Spa, and Dave's usually quite chilled, right? He's like usually like. I've never really seen him like this, but he's got this fucking swagger about him. He's like, he's the main man. He's like, all of his friends are there, like in the garage, like looking at the car and stuff. And he's like, he's the man, right? He's the guy. So he's got like this adrenaline in his system. And like, that's on the Friday. And so he does his qualifying and stuff. And then on the Sunday, his stress levels and adrenaline were on another level. Like he was bouncing off the walls. Like, he needs to get in the car because he's done all of this pre-workout stuff. He's just like got tons of energy, right? So for some reason they say, "Oh, we're gonna change the driver strategy up. We're gonna double stint the bronze driver, which, from what I understand, is quite rare."
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, fine. And we're waiting around, and we're thinking, oh my god! Like, and at this point, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we haven't eaten anything because we're waiting for Dave to get in the car, and then he's not getting in the car, and anyway. And if you know me, I like a beer. So, like, Dave's like 10 minutes away from getting in the car, and I'm like, I need a beer. Like, who wants to come and get a beer with me? So I drag a couple of guys down to La Source, where they've got this beer hut. And we're waiting in the queue. And I was like, oh, I'll just bring the stream up. I'll just bring the stream of the race up. And as I bring it comes up on my phone, I hear, oh, from the grandstand down at Eau Rouge. And I was like, okay, that was a bit weird. Think nothing of it. And I'm watching the stream. And then it doesn't really click because I'm also thinking about getting my beer. I'm going down the queue and I'm trying to sort of watch the thing, and this thing is happening. But beer is about to happen. I get to the front of the queue. I get my beers and stuff, and I'm like, something's happened, guys. Like, something's not quite right. There was that shout thing down here. The car noise has stopped. Something's weird has happened. But they're not showing it on the screen, and I was like, you don't do that unless there's a big accident. Like, if the driver's okay, they show it on the thing. And I was thinking, this is not quite right. Anyway, I get a call from my mate Davide, and he's like, "Is Dave okay?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I'm pretty sure that was Dave." And I was like, "What was Dave?" He's like, pretty sure Dave's been in an accident down at Eau Rouge. And I was like, oh shit. I'll call you back. So I go, like, guys, mate, Dave's might been in a crash. Let's go down. Walk down back to the garage. I get back down to the garage, and Dave is there, like, he's shaking. And I was like, what the hell happened? And he's like, I was meant to get in the car that lap when you went to get beers. I was meant to get in the car, but they sent him round for one more lap, and then that crash happened. If you haven't seen the crash, it's like the most insane crash. Like, it's across it's the sort of thing you see in sim racing every fucking week. But like, the car just gets mullered down on the straight down to Eau Rouge, and so Dave's like shaking. He's got all of this adrenaline that he's been bouncing around with. He can't deal with it. He's like, I need to just get out of here. The family of the guy that crashed, we didn't know about the state of the driver for another like 20 minutes. Anyway, it comes through like, oh yeah, the guy's okay, he's fine. 10 minutes later, he comes back. The guy comes from that fireball of a thing and goes, when's the next race?
Lunatic.
Absolutely crazy.
Wow.
Like, his family are in tears, by the way. Like, family, like, we thought you had died. And
because they didn't show that crash for a good 30, 40 minutes. Because they had to red flag it, didn't they? They red flagged the whole thing because it was obviously all the way across the track. And it was absolutely ridiculous.
And I saw it, but I didn't even clock it was Dave's car.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? So, like, and he just comes back going, oh, when's the next race? It's like, well, first of all, congratulations, you're alive. Second of all, you've got a £750,000 bill for the car that's just broken. Thirdly, you've got a penalty at the next race because you squeezed the Aston up against the wall. So, just a wild turn of events. That was motor racing like I've never seen it before. That was crazy.
It's good when you get to be like in the pits. Like, I remember going to see Will race in GT Cup, and it was like just watching the driver swaps from 10 feet away. and like and watching it all happen, and you know the tires and what they do with the tires, like with the melting of the tires, and they scrape all the excess off, and just seeing the little things and what they do after the race. You know, they go into the truck and watch the race back from GoPros and all this kind of stuff, and onboard cameras, and just like the whole experience of it is just incredible. Like just to be in the pits and in the middle of it. Like I wasn't doing anything, I was just watching, but the fact that people were running past you, and my favourite memory from that GT Cup race I went to was a guy putting back a Ginetta GT4 with cable ties and orange tape. He just rebuilt the back end of a Ginetta just in an hour. Like it was out for the next race. It was unbelievable. Like just to see. He was just a young lad. He was like, right, I need a bag of cable ties and a shitload of orange tape, and he just cable tied it together, covered it all over with orange tape, and went, yeah, we're good to go. And then he went out and raced. It was unbelievable.
Madness.
Yeah.
Do you know that Will said told me a story? I think it might have been one of it wasn't the Christmas do. It was one of his nights that he did at Simply Race, where he bent the bottom of a floor of a Mercedes. And it was like 40 grand.
Yeah,
or something like that.
It was in the McLaren 720. He was testing Timon's 720 at Alton, and he took the curb at turn 1 on the outside, and they said, do you usually take that line? And he said, no, I just went and drifted a little bit wide onto the curb, and they were like, yeah, you've just done like 40 grand of damage to the floor.
Oh.
That's insane.
Different world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely insane world.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
I mean, the amount of times that I've been at Donington marshalling, especially with the younger formulas and the club racing, the amount of times you get people, especially with the younger families, with the junior drivers and the club racing at the caterers and the Ford Fiesta Cup junior races, you'll get the parents come up, get a bit of bodywork, come it back please, I don't want to pay for another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like Ben when we were at Touring Cars this year when we went. That Legends car.
I was literally going to say that because that was one of the maddest crash. One of the maddest crashes I've ever been.
Oh, the one down the back straight.
Before the last chicane.
Yeah, I was.
Then went, I think he's dead.
Yeah, I was on the marshal post on the exit of Coppice, and we literally just saw it happen. We saw him flip, and we're like, we were so thankful, saying we don't want to run down to that. It's down there, but God,
that shows horrible. The safety where it is now, because I remember, and I'm pretty sure Johnny was at the same race when we were teenagers. We went to Rockingham and we saw a Legend hit the concrete wall at Rockingham.
Yeah.
Oh, it was in front of me.
It was. I was in that stand somewhere, and the safety cell wasn't as good then, and so I'm pretty sure he broke both of his legs. Yeah,
you heard him scream.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. And then now you look at that crash with the impact into the ground and where it dug in, because he flipped, to anyone that hasn't seen it, he like flipped up there was a bit of a squeeze with like 3 wide. He ends up on the grass up in the air, and then he's gone straight down and dug into the grass. So there's no dissipation of energy either. It's literally.
I just want to watch Steve's. We go and watch it. If you go on our chat, Steve.
I'm watching it right now.
It's remarkable how much safer motorsport is now, and I think that's a good thing.
What happened was one of the wheels mounted, front wheel, back wheel.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. But that's one thing you don't have in sim racing is the bill or the potential. The nearest you get to injury is if you've got a DD drive and have a little bit of an oopsie into a wall and forget to take your whip hands off the wheel.
Or if you're a clumsy swat and hurt your leg beforehand.
That's just idiot related.
That's just that's only being decided to go and play football and crack his leg open.
Yeah, don't play real sport.
The Legends cars sound so good though. Like they sound amazing.
And it was the way that every lap they were all together, all drafting each other, all going 3-4 wide down the straight at Donny, which was mad. It was really good fun.
You wouldn't have seen they rescheduled that Donny Legends race.
We left when they were just starting it.
On the final lap, one of them had a spin at Coppice right outside, right in front of us on post, and T-boned the other one. They didn't televise it because I think the TV time ran out at the time. But it happened on the last lap, and I literally looked at the driver, put a thumbs up, and say, Yeah, I'm glad that was fantastic. Loved
Wasn't
it.
it? Weren't you down with talking of? Because Aiden's our resident marshal. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you were down
Yeah.
the bottom of the hill at the old hairpin last year when the GT3 crashed down there, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, went straight
Yeah.
over.
Went straight over and
Yeah.
went into the wall.
Yeah.
I was lucky not
It
to
was,
T-bone
you
someone.
were also there where you had to jump out the way of a radical and hit
And
your
then-
head.
Oh,
on.
we're not going.
So Steve, you don't.
You're an
you-
evil
Like, what the fuck
bastard.
is going on?
But Aiden comes on. Aiden's getting ready to stream on a Sunday night. He's been marshalling all day. He rings me and he goes, "Well, he's not making any sense." He said,
I'm not.
I kind of got the message he couldn't come. He couldn't stream. And I said, "It's fine, mate," but he wasn't making any sense until the Monday. We find out that he'd been marshalling for a radical race. A radical had gone off at his post and came towards the marshal post. So Aiden then tries to dive in the marshal post to get out of the way, trips up the steps, smacks his head off something, knocks himself completely out, and wakes up in the medical centre.
Oh,
Give
wow.
himself a
Yeah.
concussion.
Was the radical all right? Radical just like
That was fine.
carried on.
Radical
Like,
was fine.
it's not funny. It's not funny. It's really
I
bad.
want
It's really bad.
it's
It's
so
not
much
funny.
shit for
But
it.
You're,
it
That's
just
not
shows the
That is-
dangers of
it's fine,
motorsport.
it's fine.
Motorsport
But it was
can
like
be
the-
dangerous.
It was like the guy at
you know
Donington
what?
Ben when we were there. So there's a crash at the Craner Curves, and a car's gone off the grass on the right hand side and hit the wall. A medical guy, runs over to go and see if the car's okay, slips down a hole and breaks his leg.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
that
I
was-
forgot
So
that
they-
happened.
Yeah.
They red flagged the race for the car, and then they had to keep it under red flags for a little while they got the guy stretchered off because he broke his leg,
Yeah.
and that was running across the grass.
It was pretty boggy
And
over
again,
there. That was where they had
it
all the
was.
waterlogged issues.
It
And
was,
yeah.
yeah. And,
it was
and
really
literally the
bad.
story was that I was, again, marshalling, we heard it all through the radio. It was called, oh, we need an ambulance. Okay, is the driver okay? Oh yeah, driver's fine. It's for circuit staff. They put their leg down a rabbit hole and broke their leg.
Yeah.
It's,
Motorsport's dangerous, folks.
Motorsport's dangerous.
Yeah.
Stick to sim racing.
That's,
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's always gets me. When we're doing our training, the triangular signs you get on the barriers, motorsport can be dangerous. No, motorsport is
dangerous.
dangerous.
Do you know? You say stick to sim racing. Not if if I had it my way. Like, I want it so that you feel pain, not literal, not physical pain, not physical pain.
Are you
Not
okay,
physical
Steve?
When you have a crash, so you don't do it again.
Like, I'm fed up. I'm absolutely sick to death, fed up. Can't stand it anymore of this whole crashed, escape, go to pits, new car. Fed up with it. Like, there needs to be something in, and like I haven't got the answer, by the way. I don't know how we solve this problem, even if it is a problem.
I've got
It might
a good
just
way
be
of doing it.
It might be a me problem. Go on, Ben.
You play iRacing, and then if you do that, you get 30 minutes of damage in a 30-minute race, and then you can't go back out.
Not quite good enough for me.
Does it need to be as in real life? If you do damage to your car and you cannot continue, you have to retire.
There is a bit of that, which I think is like, I think in most cases in iRacing that's the case, right? Because
Yeah,
like
and some leagues do it.
Yeah, like in most races you're not going to get that repair time. It's like in the special events, the endurance, fine, 30 minutes, you're out of the race, but you can carry on. What I think I'm getting at is, like, you know the Janetta story that you just told?
Yeah.
That, like, you can't, like, imagine this race here, this 2.5 hour race that you've got going on. If you bin it in practice or qualifying or whatever, if you bin it in qualifying, you shouldn't be able to go escape new car.
Yeah.
Like that same penalty that Ben's talking about should apply in every session.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
and arguably,
You
and
sound,
arguably,
you sound like a WRC fan with your damage carrying over from rally to rally, Steve.
what can I say? I just want I just want like a realistic experience. Like for example, like the good thing with ACC specifically is you can specify which day the sessions happen. Like that's such a cool feature.
Yeah.
Like if your qualifying is happening on the same day as your race, like let's just say that there's time attributed to damage, like you have a really big off and you've got damage which is about half an hour. If your race starts within that window, like you might not make the race. Like that's kind of like how I feel. There should be some sort of penalty for hooning it out the pits on lap 1 and going, I've gone into the wall. Don't worry, I'll just escape, restart, get a brand new car. Like,
Would you not do it on parts?
Maybe. Like I say, I haven't got the answer.
Like for an 8-week season for us, we could say you're allowed one engine change, one gearbox change, and you're allowed so many this, so many of that.
Love it.
And if you smash your car up, you can go and you're out of that race, but in the next race, you can in theory change your car to have all new parts on it again. But if it happens in race 2, you're fucking screwed for the season.
Love it. I love it. And like the I mean, to talk in ACC terms, you could say something along the lines of, well, all right, you can rebuild your car, but your engine and your
hello.
Is that an M2?
You got to leave the M2 space, son. They understeer like hell.
Like you can rebuild your car, but your chassis is not going to be the same. So we'll give you like a 10 kg ballast or something, or 20 kg ballast. Like just to make it feel like a little bit more like real life, really. I'm just fed up of this sort of just unlimited amount of cars. Again, I haven't got the answer. I did bring this up on Hunos's forums about 10 years ago with AC. I was like talking about damage models, and I was like, I just wish there was more of a penalty for crashing your car. And Stefano, the guy who created Assetto Corsa, on the forum said, if you crash your car, we will delete your hard drive. And I was like, I love it.
There is something to it, though. There is something to how far does sim racing go with realism? How far does it go? Do you get a set amount of parts for a series? Do you get, especially in Formula One? Do you know if you did Formula One championships?
Yeah. I'm gonna play devil's advocate though, Steve. I'm gonna play devil's advocate because I'm a big fan of a lot of damage in endurance races because I don't like ACC endurance races are great, but damage, the max you're going to lose is 2 laps, right? And you can make that up in a 10-hour race. Yeah. If you're quick enough.
If you're good,
But iRacing, if you have a big smash, oh Jesus, that's a bit close to damage. If you have a big crash, you could lose 30 minutes, like we had it in the Spa 24 when you did it earlier in the year. And I like that level of realism. But from a learning sim racing world, people use practice sessions and stuff to work out the limits of the car and kind of have mistakes and learn by making mistakes. So I think that would
point to be made about having an option for that.
Maybe if you're talking about top level sim stuff, it would make them less blasé and it would punish mistakes more, which I think is a good thing. But when you're talking, the vast majority of the oNiD community are not sweat level.
No, but you could do a pro series, couldn't you?
No. So this is where I think this is where the value is in this idea, honestly, which is imagine that you don't buy the game, right? Imagine that ACC is open world, right? And you can walk around the pitch, you can spectate, you can sit on the corner of cops with a virtual cup of tea and you can watch whatever, right? The game is free in that respect. But if you want to take part, you have to buy the car, right? So you don't buy the game, you buy the car. So let's say an M2 here that we've got, or a GT3 is 30 quid, right? It's 30 quid.
Yeah.
And if you bin it, if you write that off, you don't have to buy a brand new one. Like, you can repair it, but it's never going to be the same. It's never going to be a 100% repair. It'll be like 97% performance. And if you bin it again, it'll be 95. And if you bin it again, it'll be 94 or whatever. It just loses like performance, right? So that you don't just like, if you are a new driver, that you're not just going out going, whoa, fucking yeah, let's go. Like, I'm going to go set the world record lap time. It's like, no, this car cost me 30 quid, 30 actual pounds.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this slowly. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to feel my way to the pace. And you might bend it. You might go, push too hard or whatever. And you crash it.
Bring in mechanical failures as well.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't
If you're,
know.
if you're over revving or anything like that, like your gearbox goes or your engine goes, and
I love it. I love it. I want this. I want this so bad. Basically, what the experience that I want is, I want the experience of owning a car, loving a car, maintaining a car, tracking a car, racing a car, but I can't afford it in real life. So, like, the closest I've got at the moment is I go on ACC or I go on whatever, and I do my racing, and I get that bit of adrenaline of door-to-door racing. I love it. I love that bit. The bit that I can't stand is that it's just like, fucking, I just smashed it into a wall. I'm going to start again. It means nothing. It means nothing. It's just like, I could do any car at any time or whatever. I don't know. I just want to. Like, in fact, actually, ACC is the first game I've ever had where I've actually felt connection to a car. Like when I went from Aston to what did I drive? Merc. I've driven McLaren. The one that I've like fallen in love with is the Audi. And like I never would have thought that it would have been the Audi, but I love the Audi. And like, I love the car. I love the car. But I shouldn't have unlimited cars. I should like this should, in my opinion, it should be, this is my car. This is the one that I've fallen in love with the way that it feels. I love the way that it drives. Now I've got to nurture this car and make sure that this car gets to the finish. I shouldn't just be able to go, right, I'm going to push it at Cops here. I'm gonna go. Well, Cops is a bad example because there's loads of runoff. Let me just think of an example.
Eau Rouge.
Eau Rouge. Perfect. Do I go in flat on Eau Rouge? My God, man! If that thing was going to cost me 30 quid, like, and to repair it was either going to be time or I could fast track my repair to, like, let's say it's going to cost me 5 quid to repair the car. Am I going to go in flat on Eau Rouge? It's going to take me months to try that. I don't know. I might be very. What's this guy doing? I might be the only person that feels this way. But like, I want the experience of like the real world people who own cars and track cars.
I've always wanted, for me and personally in oNiD, I've always wanted to try a progressive thing. It's slightly different to what you've been saying, but I've always wanted.
Love it.
I wanted, like, you start on, and that's why I think AC is really good for it. AMS2 is, but the player base isn't there. It's like you could do, right, you're going to start in Clio Cups in a British Championship.
Yeah.
Who's that?
I'm getting I think it's spam call. Shall I answer it?
Yeah.
Do it. Live on stream. Let's do it.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, just what I thought.
Oh, that's a crash.
But like,
We actually saw it from the spectator view, by the way. I just had to go.
But for instance, ACC. So you could start off with M2s, and you have to compete in an M2 championship.
Love it.
And then the top 5 go into GT4. And then you go into GT3, and then if you're a bit bored of GT3, you can become a gentleman driver and go to GT2, or that kind of progression. I think it'd be great. The problem is, like, it's getting people to buy into that idea.
Yeah.
Can I plug another community?
Uh-oh.
Because
that's Johnny's decision.
Johnny's face says no.
I'm not. It's a little bit different, but ACM do something similar.
Yeah.
And and I know there's a whole load of coding stuff in the background behind that, but they have their whole thing is career mode.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what their player base is, but when I did one of their races, it was reasonably well attended and stuff. So I mean, some people obviously want it.
Some people do. I
Not
think
to the levels of what
you're
you're
gonna-
talking about, but
You're going to have difficulty breaking the norm when people think, "Oh, just pay one set price here again on DLC every now and again."
Yeah.
I think it's a very fascinating idea, but when the norm is, as I said, I'm just going to buy the game and then that's done and dusted. I'll save up for a bit for DLC. And
I think there is
going to come out.
There is something in what you've just said, though, Ben. There is something we could look at. There is something we could and call it like a progressive championship, or
Johnny,
people that want to buy into it can do it.
Johnny, I tried it. I've tried it. I called it FSM. I don't know if we were friends at that point.
No,
but it was off the back of ACCSS. I'd given that over to Dan, and I wanted to carry on doing a community, so I came up with this FSM thing, and it was exactly that. It was like you had progression was, but there was this ladder, mate. It failed spectacularly, so bad. Like we had I don't know, 15 people turn up for the first race, and they're like, nah, they can't sit through this. And I thought it was a real shame, because it's like the idea of it was that you would, yes, the first season would be probably driving a car that you don't want to drive.
Yeah.
If we're honest, because you want to drive GT3. And then the second season might be like those people, they get promoted into the next one, and then after 3 championships, they get into GT3.
like the iRacing license system.
But
a little bit like that.
Isn't there something now with the grid rating that you could do it?
Yeah, maybe. If I was to do FSM again, it would be, I would do the first championships would be like 2 races, and that'd be it. It'd be like just 2-3 races, and we'd do it in one night. It would be like Championship 1 is in one night, Championship 2 is in one night, maybe even the next week or the next night, or maybe even in the same night, just to get that first lot of people into GT3 as quickly as possible, so that you have people in GT3 and you have a cohort of drivers that they're already there. And so then anyone that you're like, okay, right, season 2 of this progression system is maybe a little bit longer. Maybe season 2 is maybe 3 or 4 races over the course of a couple of weeks, so 2 races a night or whatever, just so that you can start to build that thing. The problem that I think that I had with FSM was it's 6 races over 6 weeks in a car that you don't really want to drive. And it failed spectacularly. But people were like, "Oh, that's kind of an interesting idea." It's kind of there's a chance that you're not good enough to drive GT3, so you get knocked down, and then someone takes your space. There was maybe something there. I don't know. I've got a very weird way of a very weird vision of what I think sim racing could be. You know, Gamer Muscle.
Yeah.
Whenever I talk to him about it, he's like, he thinks that I want a life simulator where you go to work and you have to do a job and you have to earn money and you have to
the game of life of sim racing.
Yeah, it's not quite that bad, but I really just want I just want people to be punished for shit driving. I think that's what it really comes down to.
I do think there is, and it's got my head whirring now. I think there is something somewhere that we could do, or we could try, or we could do something. And I just think if people buy into it and really we use the tools that the sim racing communities have with SimGrid and the ranking system, I think there is something to be done, especially for new people. I think there's something to be said about we've been successfully running an AM series for quite some time, and they all jump in GT3s, and we give them as much coaching as we can. But actually, there's something there that says if you're a rookie, jump in an M2, learn how to control an M2. Because if you can drive an M2 quickly, I'm pretty sure you can transfer them skills across to GT4 to GT3.
Easily, yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Because I don't think an M2 is that easy to drive. I think that it takes some skill to drive. To drive them quickly, you need to learn how to carry speed through corners. You need to be able to get on the braking and quickly and get back on the power quickly. I think there is something in that, because then you can transfer that skill to GT4, and then once you've learned how to drive a quicker car, then you go to GT3. I think there's something really in that, and I would love to explore that. I don't know how though, but
mate,
I'm off my feet for 10 weeks. I might find a way.
I would approach it with sincere caution, because it's everything that I found with SGP and SimGrid subsequently is that people are a sucker for GT3.
Yeah.
And it's I speak to Michael Hamlet. He's like an example that he talks about with iRacing, where he was in, I think it was like a Daytona special event, 24 hours. He was like one of 8 GT4 cars of like a 35 car field. The rest were GT3. I'm like, I mean, you're racing with 7 other cars.
Yeah.
Like that's not fun for 24 hours. And then he got injured. He got damage and stuff, and it's just like, that's not fun. And it's like when people are doing stuff that isn't fun, shit can fall apart very quickly. Like I learned with FSM. Like, the premise was there. It's just like I just didn't get the right formula. Good idea. I'm gonna go grab another drink.
We're going to have to draw it to a close soon before I absolutely combust in my absolute fest of the room.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a mental evening.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, everything you're seeing on screen right now is running on my computer, and I think it's running at 1,000 degrees centigrade, and I can't have the AC on, so I'm absolutely... I'm just keeling over right now.
Oh, it's mental.
The question is, do we last the last 32 minutes of this race?
Oh...
We've done 2 hours.
We've done 2 hours chatting over this.
There was me saying, I'm fucking not doing 2 hours. I'm fucking not doing the whole thing. And then we're 31 minutes away.
2 hours, 24 minutes the stream's been up so far.
Oh.
I appreciate Kev's comment there, thinking that it's a great idea. It would be a good way of getting people in. It would be a good...
To be fair, I think if you did something more casual, like we've done with the AMS social club stuff, so people can do it in their own time as well, that might be a different way of doing it. I don't know.
And I've always had this idea, and I've always had the idea of doing a whole weekend. And it's something I nearly did. I was that close to doing it about a year ago, where people, instead of an endurance race, people race for a whole weekend.
Yeah.
You support races.
You do the support races in your main event. We did a championship, didn't we?
Yeah, we did a 4-5 hour championship, which had like 5-6 races across 6 hours.
Well, I did the Sundays, didn't I? Where you had Sunday GT4 race and then you had the GT3 race.
Back on SGP, I can't remember if we did it with us or with the Jimmy Community, or if we did it with RS. But we did a whole day, a whole Saturday of events, didn't we?
Yes, we did it with RS. Yeah,
that was right. And that was really good fun because we streamed a lot of it. We also did it on the night. Because for those that don't know, me and Johnny used to sit in Project Cars 2 practice lobbies for like 4 hours, and all it was, we'd just set up a server and people would just turn up in whatever car they wanted. There was no classes, and people would just drive around what cars we did. And we've done it as well. We've done it at Nords before, I believe. We did it
it was AMS2.
AMS2.
We did one where we set like 10 classes of car, and you could race
doing a day of racing. Like, and instead of doing this one special event, do 6, and we can have.
I just think, how cool would it be? Is like you all turn up on a Saturday morning, and we have a whole calendar of events. So like you would when you turn up at Brands. So you've got Radicals first thing, then you've got mini challenge, but you do it across all the sims. People sign up for what they want to race. With the prerequisite is if you're going to race in the main 2.4 race on the Sunday in GT3, you have to do a support race.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
But you can change it across sims then, can't you? You can kind of do, you can go and do like the Clubman stuff on AC. You could do GT4s on ACC.
Your problem is making sure everyone has all the sims and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That's
But they don't have to. They can only race a support race what they want.
Getting people to sign up for it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But it's definitely something worth. We've discussed it. I don't know how many times. So
I just think it'd just be so cool, even if you just did it on ACT.
Yeah. Fucking hell, guys! Like
you eating an ice cream?
I am, yeah. Mini Magnum.
My missus is going to come in shortly with a McDonald's, I think. So.
Oh, nice.
What?
Nice. We discussed it earlier about like the accessibility to like a whole day of racing, like oNiD race day, where it's like the whole day of racing, and you've got your feature event at like 2.4, like you say, Johnny.
Yeah.
Fucking sounds wicked.
But it's all at the same track as well.
Yeah. It's a race day. It's like
so you have like you can start with an M2 race in the morning that's qualifying and a 30-minute race, and then you might have like a 20-minute break where then a Ginetta race goes out. You do a Ginetta race, and you make a whole day of it, and then.
Fuck, I love it.
But then you could have like the Saturday main event wouldn't necessarily be a race. It could be qualifying for the 2.4. That's going to be on the Sunday.
And then like you say, you have to, if you want to take part in the main event, you have to do a sport race. But like it gets that popular that it's like, no, you can't take part in the main event unless you've done a season of these main event things, these race day things. Yeah. It's like because you haven't earned the right to be in those races. Yeah. But by the way, I'm topical beer. Like I've already had one. I've had one topical beer already this evening. Right, dude, love.
Okay, man.
We're discussing how to like make new games and everything. Look at this one that I found in the fridge. Game Theory.
There we go. Nice. You have too many beers.
Like it.
I do. I've gone through all sorts tonight, haven't I? There we go.
You have a collection of tins at the end of the night, aren't you?
But
they are accumulating.
Yeah.
Colin Sherlock's just said, I love that idea, guys. Race weekend. I think it will happen. Like I said, it was built on SGP. I'd built it, and it was ready to go. And it just never happened. I don't know why it didn't happen. Something came up and it just didn't happen. But it was built, and it was Ginettas, GT4s, M2s. It was, and then it came. But it was all done on a Saturday, and then the race would be with the 2.4 at night in GT3. But it was building up, and it was like, right, you've got to take part in one of the support races if you want a GT3 spot. And it was just something a bit different, and it was just like, let's do a whole day of racing, and you could stream it as well. Do you know what I mean? We stream 24-hour races. Why can't we stream 12 hours or 8 hours of lots of different races, and have people on it? You know, between races while we're setting races up, what you do, you have people on yourself, or we get other people on, or you get drivers in, and you just have chats and just watch the racing, and it's just. You know, like what ITV do with British touring cars. Just have a day.
Exactly that. That's what I was saying earlier. You could plan your day out around like the scheduling of the motor race. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's happening.
I love it. I'm there. I'll be taking part in one of those races.
The oNiD. I can't just think how we would name it. What would we name it?
It would be the oNiD Coach Dave race weekend.
We would sponsor that. We would 100% sponsor it. Like, not even a question. We would definitely do that.
It'd just be something cool, wouldn't it?
That would be.
Mate, it'd be wicked. It would be wicked. Like, I wonder. Sorry if like running before we can walk, and that's something that you guys have always been good at, is not running before you can walk. But just to fantasize for a minute, right? That goes really well. Like. To make a championship out of those support races and the main event would give it so much more meaning. Like, imagine where you get to a point where let's call it for working title oNiD race day, where you've got like the 2.4 is like your feature race, and then you've got these support races throughout the day. But you do them like once every other month or something. I don't know. And they are championships. They are like people could take part. They might take part in one. They might take part in all of them. Who knows? But they're like something across the year.
Yeah.
That like fuck, that would be so good, man.
We
Like,
could do one
yeah.
every season through the year,
Oh, I love it.
which would be great.
Love it.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'm just trying to comprehend what we're discussing here. That's just insanely exciting.
Sounds like Johnny wants to run the stream every time, so that's great.
Yeah.
Fuck off, I'm racing.
No, you're not.
I'm in the Janetta series.
No.
I am
I
the Colin
saw
White
the
of oNiD.
enduros out. I'm racing in this one. You can do the stream for this.
It's not my job,
Oh,
Aiden.
good God. What? Yes,
I love it.
man.
I love it. Can I throw another format that I loved on SGP, which I haven't I actually thought about it today. I was like, actually, I'd love to do this again. Was the 1 day championships, where it was like just in an evening, 5 races, 1 championship done.
I've had the idea of doing a 1 day tournament.
We did. Yeah,
Love
we
it.
did. We did one, didn't we? We did GT4s, didn't we, Steve?
Oh, when?
No,
Oh.
on SGP.
Oh, the
wasn't that you were in?
Janettas. It was the
Yeah,
Janetta.
Yeah.
When I saw your Janetta thing earlier, I was like, oh, it just reminded me. But like, I was thinking about it earlier today with the race room stuff and the 1995 DTM. I was like, man, and race room's a great one for it actually, because you've got the reverse grid and stuff.
Yeah.
But that Janetta GT4 thing was fucking wicked. It was like 6 races in an evening, championship done in a day. I was like, that was a lot of fun. We only did it once, I think, or maybe twice.
I had the idea of doing a little tournament where you do, like maybe 4 races of 20 cars, or 5 races of 20 cars, and the top 10 go into the championship race, and then the losing 10 go into a challenger race, and then you have 2 like feature races at the end.
Yeah, nice.
In a day. I think that would be quite a cool thing to do as well. Just kind of keep people interested. It's like, I didn't qualify for the final, but I can still race in the challenger. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause I finished outside the top 10, so I've still got a spot on the grid for that race. And just do that and kind of have a tournament kind of thing. Because I think there's so much that people don't do.
Yeah.
People do a lot. We do championships, we do endurance races, but we don't actually. With the Sunday Showdown that we've brought back for season 3, it's like, so the first 4 races you qualify for Showdown, you get your points, then the top 10 go into the Showdown, where it's just 2 races, which is a bit like the NASCAR playoff system. So 10 people go into there. You're always still racing on the same track, but then the top 10 then become the top 5, and in the last race, the top 5 are racing for the championship. And it's not on points; it's where you finish. So in theory, you could be 5th you could just scrape into the final 5 in the Showdown, and then go on to win the race, and you would become the champion.
Like championship playoffs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And how about an A and a B final format? That's what we're doing. So if you are then you finish slightly differently, and you go into a challenger one, so there's still stuff to play for. That's what we've done. We've kind of, you have a showdown in the challenger, and you're still racing for something.
Yeah.
Like it.
Which I think is just something different. There's loads of formats out there that people don't try. They just stick to the tried and tested, which is great.
The funny thing is like, I think, Johnny, I've spoken to you about this before, is like brands that would come to us at SGP and subsequently have come to us at SimGrid and have gone, we want to do a championship, we want to do a race, we want to do an event, and we want to do the most boring thing possible.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't do the most boring thing possible. Like, do something radical, because you can. Like, and then they, like, there's one occasion where I had a brand go, all right, let's do it, and it was probably the best fucking like esports like commercial event that we've ever done. Drivers hated it. Viewers loved it. They thought this is really interesting, but the drivers hated it. And it's like, and they're like, some of them were like, we're never, like, don't ever invite us again. Because it was out there, and it was like, it was wacky. It was like, some of it was wacky. It was like, like the whole fucking you're eliminated at the end of each lap, like the bottom place.
Oh, I love that. I'd love to do that race.
But we can do it. We can do that stuff. But the thing that people turn up for is the 1 hour.
Yeah.
It's like it's a
Well,
catch-22.
we had the Santa run. Do you remember the Santa run, Stephen? We did it like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Fuck me, no.
in the Indy 24, me and you came up at 3 o'clock in the morning with the Santa run.
Oh yeah. I do remember.
It would like start at midnight.
Yeah.
Or
Do you remember the super endurance idea? It's like just until the server fails.
Yeah. What gives up first?
Yeah.
24 hours. It might be 36. It might be 48. I don't know. Just whoever is there last.
Like the Iron Man challenge.
Yeah, like I think it's now been debunked that you can't do more than 24 hours on ACC, unfortunately. But like I'm with you, Johnny, mate. Like we've got the ability to do whatever we want.
Well held your brakes. Well done.
So why don't we do it?
Cooked it.
Yeah. But you guys have got you're the type of community that can do this sort of stuff. Like you've got the people that will be like, yeah, fuck it, it's just a bit of fun. We'll try it.
Yeah, and we've got people on board that will support it as well. Not only SimHound, I've been approached by someone else to do some stuff as well, which is quite a big deal because I'm, this person's come on and messaged me today actually, and it's like, oh, actually, you're quite a well-known brand. Let's go and do something. They've come to us. Like I didn't have to reach out either, so so it was pretty cool. So there's options that we can do stuff and get people involved, and I think that's. I always strived for that, and Steve, you will know this from the SGP days. Was I always strived. I wanted to get our name out there, and we did our best, and we got SimHound on board, didn't we? And we tried to get involved with lots of other companies, and I just want oNiD to be out there, and it's not just for my own look at me. It's for we do great stuff in this community, and I think people need to know about it. And I always said I needed the platform to be able to shout from the rooftops about oNiD, because yes, I am biased, but I do think we're one of the best communities out there for driver engagement and having a very friendly community. Ben, you've been there from the very start. We've always had a good group of people. The core group in oNiD has been amazing.
So that's a really interesting point. Core group. What does community mean to you?
Whatever we kind of want it to be, I guess, in a way.
For me, it was all about having that core group of drivers that would race week in, week out, and not become a platform.
Yeah.
Not to be an LFM, not to be a pit skill where people can just turn up and drive. And we always wanted the one thing that we built it on was 12 people racing on a Friday night, Ben, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And we were all friends, and that's what we wanted. And we went away and we raced in other communities, and we raced and we met loads of people, and we then decided we were going to do it ourselves. And we just wanted to keep that core people. And actually, 2 of the people that were very early joiners are still with us today. Probably more than that. There's a good group of people, and we've built a community. And that's, to me, what community is. You can get on, have a laugh. There's still rules, there's still regulations, there's still a strict adherence to what we expect.
It's really interesting. It's almost like a blend between the sporting regulations that connect with you, the personalities, maybe it's just those two actually, like the blend between those two that makes community successful, or make you connect with a community. Like, do they do the racing that I like, and are the people aligned with are they the same as me? Like just seeing the names, like the familiar names, and knowing that, oh, it's this guy, I know I can give him a bit of like door-to-door action, or it's that guy, I should give him a bit of room. Like familiar names that are like similar to you in personality, and you're racing a thing. It's like actually really special. Like not many people can do what you guys have done. I'll be honest with you. Like there are some really great communities out there on SimGrid. on other platforms on their own. There are some great communities, but to do what you guys have done, not many people can do it. I'll be honest.
If I can chime in on this one a little bit, because I get Johnny and Ben's point. They've been, well, Johnny's the main man. He's one of the core founders.
They let me believe that.
Yeah. We just couldn't be bothered to fight it early on.
Oh,
They were just like, Johnny can do
He's
it.
here. He might as well just.
Yeah.
But coming in a bit of background from my end of it, we came into oNiD as part of other community that was kind of fobbed off from another community. They shan't be named, but I know if you're familiar with Rhinos Motorsports, when we first came into oNiD, we did a lot of the race room stuff before it all died a death. I've never felt like I've been outside of this core group of people. I've always felt like this community, that feeling of community was always welcoming. So when you say that there's a core 12 people and you want to get friends together, I'm just thinking, not only do I know who they are, but I've got so many other people as well that share that same value. I think that's what's so important about oNiD, is that there is that welcoming feeling of welcome. We do racing, we are sort of serious, we do have rules, but we're here to have fun at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's that really, I think it is a very fine line. I think from all of my experience when I'm commentating or racing, we've always hit the nail on the head with it, where we've got
I completely agree.
perfect balance.
Completely agree. I mean, but again, I've gone into communities and been like, I don't belong here.
Yeah.
But they are thriving. They're like, they're oNiD levels of success. Like they're thousands of drivers. They've got events here, there, and whatever. But I've gone in their Discord. And I'm like, yeah, I don't belong here. So like, I think it's just the communities are that like I say, that blend of sporting regulation and personality. Yeah. It's you either fit in or you don't, and it's not a problem if you don't fit in. Like there's a community that I'm not going to name. Like they're so serious. They're so serious. They're almost like the people that run it are faceless. Like you almost don't know who they are. And it's like there are people that love that, but they're not there for the fun. They're there for the.
Ooh,
yeah.
Luke.
Was that Mr. Sherlock?
That was. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, carry on, Steve.
Four wides.
Yeah, I mean, what did we think was going to happen there? But yeah, no, just to say, like, they're there for those guys in that community are there for something very different to what oNiD offers.
Yeah.
And but if you're on the outside looking in, if you're a motorsport fan, let's say, but you're not a sim racer, and you're on the outside looking in, you would say, oh, they both do GT3 racing, they both do a Wednesday night race, and they do this. But actually, the community is completely different, like a completely different vibe. And I do not fit in there. Like it's just like I could not go in there and be myself. I'd have to be like me now, oNiD, t-shirt with a beer, whatever. Their community, shirt, tie, coffee, like that, and that's just how it is.
I think as well, it's kind of Ben's more laid back than I am, but we're kind of yin and yang that way. We're kind of yin and yang that way. Like Ben has a really good. I can go. I'm going a million miles an hour all over the place, and Ben has a really good kind of. He knows what I'm thinking. He's like, right, just bring it back a second. Let's do this. Yeah. And we've always been yin and yang. We've got Dave in there as well, who's also very chilled. And I think the whole group, as in the admin group, we have a good core of personalities. That you've got the types of me and Matt Holman that want to go and do everything and do it and do this and do that and do that, and we're this driver's done this, we should do. And then you've got the other people in there who'll just go, right, let's look at it like we've got a nice yin and yang in the group, which makes it You kind of look after each other as well then, because if someone's
Yeah.
not in the mood, someone will pick it up. So
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah, spot on.
I'll find some.
But that's community.
Yeah, that is
That's
community.
community. And like I say, I think it's incredibly difficult to
Can I
build
have some
community.
food, please?
Luckies.
What have you got?
Double cheeseburger and some chips.
I'll be round in a minute.
I want it so bad. I want it so bad. But yeah, I say, it's not easy to do what you guys have done. Like, so many people try, so many people fail. Like, so
There's a
many
drive
people
as well.
fail.
There's a drive in the whole team.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
drive to do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know if anyone's seen it, because I don't think I actually announced it yet. But if you actually go on the SimGrid website and go onto the news, there is a community spotlight article where I got interviewed. And I speak about oNiD and stuff. And I actually say my overall goal for oNiD is we're going to be the biggest on SimGrid. And I trust we can do it.
Mate, I don't doubt you. I don't doubt you. I think you can be.
Yeah.
Like you guys, you've got something special. So don't doubt your soul.
I'm pretty excited.
Charlie, no.
Oh.
Is that your livery, Ben?
It is.
Is that a British?
Yes, it is.
British Porsche Cup, is
Yes,
it?
it is.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I did
I was
that
off
one.
the back of seeing it in real life.
Yeah, I saw it in real life and was like, I need to do that. That's fucking awesome. So I did it, and then I've never seen anyone run it. And Charlie messaged me messaged in the Discord going, "Oh, I'm running this livery at Bendit." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" That was ages ago.
Right.
Right, let's have a little. Go on, carry on. As you were.
I was just want to say that, as I think again, it is just the right people in the right places, especially with the admin team as it is right now. We've got a couple of new, as Johnny's also said, a couple of new people coming in as well that could only going to add to
That was
the
a replay.
That was a replay, yeah. Only going to add
I
to
didn't
what
get
we've already
excited
got.
over a replay.
So
Go on,
it's-
man.
oh wait, no, it's just a replay. But we've got admins coming in as well. We're putting people in the right places, which is mighty important. But at the same time, we've got that yin and yang. We've got the people who want to be the stewards. We've got the race director that that stays anonymous and has the final say over things. In terms of being faceless, as what Steve said, that's the only thing that's faceless to try and maintain some form of racing integrity, if you will, within our rules. But everything else, we're open. We try to be as transparent as possible. We're trying to do this more often to also reinforce that. But at the same time, you have the creatives. You've got the people like me who like to do streaming, like Ben who like to do deliveries. You've got all the rest of the media team. Loads of people want to get involved with that, which is always another car sitting in the way.
Steve's battered car was in the way.
Is that the battle for the
Yeah.
lead? by
This
the
is
way?
this. I
That's
would like to
the
say
lead.
this is the lead in M2s after over 2 hours.
Wow,
Amazing.
6 minutes to go.
that's mega. But as I said, it's that whole yin and yang, and we've got the right people doing the right things. And I like to think that I don't take this seriously. It's an enjoyment for me. I enjoy doing it. Anything else that comes of it is a bonus. Doing this with you guys is a bonus. Getting Steve, and again, thank you, Steve, for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. I've loved
We've taken up 3
really
hours of
enjoyed
his
it.
life.
No, I've really enjoyed it. I feel like I hope I haven't outstayed my welcome. I just
No,
Yeah,
not at all. It's been brilliant.
I've really enjoyed it. Can I just say, is that Aidan Carter who's
Yeah.
racing the MP?
Yes, yeah.
Aidan was a VRC OG.
He
So
was.
massive shout out to Aidan. Like, he was always a legend in a VRC. So has he just lost the lead?
He's just lost the lead as
He
well.
took it, and now he's just about to lose it. But
Oh, he's on the inside. You can see the
Aiden's
ultimate.
I've raced against Aiden. I raced against Aiden a lot of Simply Race and stuff. So
Yeah.
I have stolen them for the esports team because
Brilliant.
you can see why.
You see,
Well-
he's holding the inside line into the old turn one. There you
Hold
go.
it.
Yeah, he's fine.
Well, I
He's
remember when they got their PC because it was PlayStation 5, I think,
Yeah,
or
that's
4
right.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And they got their PC, so like fair play. Like clearly got the pace. Really good. Good to see.
if this is a judge to what the future holds for oNiD, I'm excited. Really, really excited.
You guys are in the right place. Trust me.
Exactly. That's a big part of it as well.
I've heard that so many times in the last few months.
Yeah.
Not long. Not long.
Needs from Sherlock might have underfield. Try not to call them names.
The classic Sherlock
Yeah.
mistake, I think that
Classic
is.
Sherlock mistake. Guys, I'm gonna be the antisocial one. I'm so sorry. I'm exhausted. I've loved chatting to you guys. I need to go to bed. I'm so sorry.
We've got 4 minutes to go.
4 minutes. I'll last for 4 minutes.
Okay, when the second the last car crosses the line, the vodcast is over. It is over.
Exactly. It is over. That's it. That's what we're calling it. It has been the most fantastic. How long? It's 2.5, 3 hours. More around 3 hours now.
Yeah, I thought we'd be done by like 9, half 9.
I thought I would, but it's been absolutely amazing, and I've loved it. I just need sleep, man. Sleep.
Well, it's been great talking to you, by the way, Eddie. And it's been thanks for the questions. They were really good. It was really cool.
I'm glad that I didn't put you in an awkward position where you couldn't answer them.
You know what? I was expecting a lot worse. I thought Johnny was gonna.
No,
It was way too nice.
To be fair, I'm just too nice. That's what it is. To be fair, the only guidelines that Johnny gave me was no questions about
You know what?
LMU. No question about AC Evo. We've fucking talked about it.
I suppose there is one question we haven't asked.
Go on.
God, here we go.
Go on.
Is there anything that you can hint at?
Oh,
Anyway, guys, it was great to be here.
He has had a few beers, to be fair.
He has had a few beers. This is our master plan, isn't it? Get him a little bit drunk. He might say something. No, that's awful.
I've honestly got nothing. I know nothing.
You're nothing. You're nothing. Okay, so I'll let you off on that one, Steve.
Yeah.
What's happened? Aiden Carter's still leading the way in the BMWs. What's happened in the GT3s and the GT?
Johnny O's run away with it.
Johnny O's run away. Oh, that's contact.
This is
there.
for lead in the GT2s, although Elvin does have a stop-go.
Oh, wow. He'd left that late. That's that race wrapped up completely. 2 and...
So we had, just
2.5
to
hours,
people that have
basically.
been watching, we had the GT3 class, then we had the assorted kind of GT2s and cup cars and things,
yeah.
and then obviously the M2s. Still going for it.
Yeah, still going for it.
John's got a pretty hefty lead out in front of GT3, to be fair.
How many people per class do you think? Roughly.
Just over 20 per class or something was signed up. We had the most in GT3s, I think, obviously. But
Yeah, 60 you can have on Silverstone, can't you?
that was
So
right.
it was,
We've got 20 per class.
I don't know how many actually racing.
I think we started with 50 and we
Wow.
got down to 40 by the end. So.
I saw a couple of people come up in chat actually had this connection issue, so we have lost a few, but we did have about 50 sign-ups to this.
Amazing.
And the rest were just people not wanting to drive the M2, basically.
Yeah.
And we like the M2. It's just a big
I really
touring
love
car.
it. It is just a glorified touring
It's a
car.
glorified touring car.
And by the way, when this finishes, I am going to away to plan the race weekend that we're doing.
I'm not surprised.
Gotta do it, man. I'll be there. I'm gonna take part in one of those. I just won't take part in the M2 race.
You fucking will.
Yeah.
Not because it's a bad car, just I can't drive it. We spoke about it. Like, you need to be good at driving that thing. I can't drive it. I can't drive it. I find driving faster cars easier.
Oh, I'm the other way round.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely the other way round.
Give me a slower car.
Yeah, I'm so much faster in slower cars. That's why I like Clios and GT4s and the GR86 on iRacing and stuff like that. I prefer the slower cars.
Yeah, Ben, but you can actually drive.
Not in the GT3.
I can't. I cannot. I can't. I've got no pace whatsoever. So I don't know what it is. Just like those fast cars.
I remember. Who T-boned you at Suzuka, Steve? That was an endurance race, wasn't it?
Wait. Oh no. Wait. I thought you were going to talk about Christmas Day.
Oh
no, I wasn't going to talk about that. We'll get back to that. No, the Suzuka race, was it the SGP like Suzuka 10 hour? with
Can't
Jimmy and
remember.
Gardier and everyone in it.
No, I can't. I can't
And
remember
you
what it
binned it
was.
after about like 11 hours or something. and you
Oh
binned
no,
it.
it was it was all me. It was all me. We
Uh-huh.
were P10. We were going for P9 out of like 50 drivers or something like that. And I was gaining on the guy by a second a lap. And on the lap where I was going to catch him, I binned it at 130R.
Yeah, I remember.
In
Because that
front
was the
of
day
me,
I
I think.
drove in.
I think
Yeah,
it
it
was in
was
front
because
of me, yeah.
that was after I put it in the pit wall.
Yeah. That was a good
so
day.
annoyed.
Oh,
So many
I was
memes
so
from
annoyed.
that day.
brutal.
God damn.
Where's
Our
Johnny?
leader
Oh,
is
Matt's gonna
on the
send
last lap.
Yeah, he
Yo,
is.
Johnny, are you doing?
Send it,
Oh.
Matt! Send it! Yeah!
Jesus.
Are you doing like winners interviews and stuff?
No, not
No.
today.
No.
John can
Because
talk
Johnny
to
else went.
himself, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, Matt, not there.
No,
Oh.
not there.
He's found a space.
I'm sorry. I've clicked the wrong thing.
Oh, what are you
Damn
doing?
it.
He's on the move.
Oh.
Nice.
Well done,
Oh,
Enduro team, mate.
Yeah, used the slow car bit there, didn't he, to get the move done?
He was my enduro teammate in 2 weeks.
Unlucky.
Well,
Johnny.
folks,
I mean, unlucky him.
it's been a fantastic 2.5 hours, even more than we even expected to be chatting. But it has
Well
been
done,
a
John.
pleasure, folks, and we
Johnny.
congratulate Johnny Earl on a 72-lap race win. It has been a topsy-turvy race for him, I'm sure. Well, not really. He's run away with it, really, hasn't he? Van Liesenden is about a lap down officially.
It's,
Classic John.
it's about 40
The
seconds.
classic John. But Cowley leading the is that the Cup class of
Yeah.
cars in that Maserati, and then it's Aidan Carter in the BMW M2, and then Porsche Cup. There's the Porsche Cup leader Matt High. So a few more minutes before they come to the checkered flag. Yep, no, a few more seconds, should I say? I hope it's not more minutes. I'm knackered. Van Liesenden can see the checkered flag about 33 seconds down. John Lloyd will shortly see it as well. Just to show how far ahead John Earl's got, P4 is ready to see the checkered flag a lap down. So that was the insanely large lead he
So
managed to
that's
pull off the
a
field.
Fry Guys 1, 2, 3.
That is a Fry Guys 1, 2, 3 actually.
Legends, good lads.
That
Well
is
done.
And James on the
And also,
GT2s as well.
Matt High will be representing oNiD in the CWC. He won that qualifier. So
yeah.
So there is some zebra representation in the SRO Championship, which will be really good.
That'd be amazing.
And here he is on the stream. So, Luke's in chat saying, "Man, I'm an idiot. Did he run out of fuel?"
He ran out of fuel, I think.
Oh, for God's sake.
I think the zebras were lining up 1, 2, 3 on the after turn 1. They are. Look at that.
Boo!
Look at that.
I'll go and get my top. I'll pretend I'm in their team.
I thought Gary was just going to go into the back of them then. Just
I was waiting for
"Way!"
Hey! That's brilliant. As we do wait, Aidan Carter, a very hard-fought victory in the BMW there, comes across the final turn and will have nothing but a checkered flag ahead of him and welcomes the race win for the BMW M2. It is M2,
Yeah.
isn't it? M2
Well done,
class.
Aidan.
Congratulations to
Well done, mate.
Aidan Carter for that win.
Well, that was fun.
That was a very
My
fun
exact
podcast.
words about 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, was I'm not streaming the whole 2.4.
Not streaming out too far. Look at this. There's all the zebras, and they're being cheeky with each other, taking each other out. You're not supposed to do that, but we'll let you do it.
What was the plan?
Ban
Then?
them. Definitely. Ban them all. Ban all the Fry Guys.
Final
Yeah.
fight, guys. The plan was just to chat and see what happened, and that's to be fair, that's happened. That was really the plan. I just never expected to go on for this long. To be fair,
The plan was like,
wonderful.
we'd do an hour, we'd have a chat, go over season 3, go over season 2,
Yeah.
have a chat with you, ask you some questions, and then, about an hour in, like, yeah, call it a day, that's cool.
Cool, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
What are you
2.5
apologising?
hours, like, but this is what happens, Steve. Even when you go for lunch,
I
and our
know.
lunch break turns
I
into
know.
like 2 hours of chatting.
Oh,
I know.
exactly. It's like it's brilliant. It's been the most unexpectedly wonderful evening with
Oh,
you
brilliant.
three. So
I've
thank
really
you
enjoyed it.
so much. I've loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Awesome.
I believe this podcast will remain on Twitch, but also go on to YouTube.
Yes, indeed. It'll be on YouTube by Sunday. So
Might be a little bit longer to
you can
upload,
watch us
but
back
how long
if
it
you
is.
fancy listening to us chatting for over 3 hours about pointless shit. Then please feel free.
Yeah, please do. Absolutely.
Pointless. Pointless. It's
What?
critical conversation.
Johnny
Very
Hill says
highbrow.
the Fry guys, he's going to be horrified when I ban them all for intentionally wrecking out.
Yeah, all banned.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Folks, it's been a pleasure. Season 3 starts 16th of September. Sign-ups are open. Most of the stuff is now full, but we still have some gaps around on some of our leagues. Get on to SimGrid. Have a look at our community page. See what's still available. Join the reserve list if you can't get in. There may be people dropping throughout the season. You may still be able to get in. But for now, we say good night. Steve, Johnny, and Ben, thank you so much. It's been a fantastic Friday evening.
Goodbye.
Great way to start the weekend. Ben, I'll see you at Donny.
Yes.
And for anyone else watching who's going to go to Donington, we will be there on the Hollywood Hill outside of Turn 1, overlooking
By the coffee van.
By the coffee van and the burger van as well. There's
Yes.
probably one there as well.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to prioritise that. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you all so much, and thanks for everyone watching. We will see you very soon for what will be a fantastic season 3. Take care, guys, and good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Goodbye.